we'll start this baby.
Just one touch and I'm lost inside your love. Just one touch means more than words can say. Just one touch and I know I'm gonna stay for always.
Well, it's Friday.
Yeah, it is.
It's Friday, and I'm sorry for being a couple minutes late. I forgot this is like mid-winter break, so my daughter's off Friday, Monday. So what does that mean? I had to go pick up a lot of kids, so they're upstairs. So I'm downstairs, and to make the green screen look a little better, I was experimenting, how to put a background on it, and it looks all right. I see a little glare here and there, but nothing about that.
So Eric, I'm opening a bottle of wine, dude.
Hey, it's Friday, right? It's Valentine's Day.
Yeah,
it is Valentine's Day. So people, whoever watched this yesterday, you probably heard me say Valentine's Day is probably my worst day of the year. No. Forget about that. Give your girl some flowers, give your man some flowers, be lovable, be nice. The reason I made that statement is just because I was laid off on Valentine's Day. I was laid off. I got stuck out of my car. I broke a key into my trunk on Valentine's Day. So every year on Valentine's Day, it's always like, it's bad luck for some reason. But not this year. Not this year. It's not bad luck this year.
I'm trying to figure out how to use this motherfucker.
You telling me you can't open up wine? You?
I can open up wine the old-fashioned way, but this is it's a machine open wine. The fuck does this thing work? What the fuck?
Man, I watched before I had to go pick up all the kids. I watched Lifted the Lids stream on Friday, and I really enjoyed it because his show is like it's easy on the eyes. It's an easy watch, and you get to learn a lot of information. Because sometimes on Friday.
Who movie is this?
No, Lifted the Lid, his YouTube channel.
Oh.
Yeah, I watched it on his show on Friday. It's always nice and easy to watch. You know what I mean? It's not super heavy the way he does music and video clips.
Yeah, no, keep going.
No. On my background, I see a lot of light coming in, so I don't know if it's
You're being haunted, man. You got a ghost.
Probably got a ghost. So, well, everybody, listen. The title of the show: Mandela Effect Change. Big change in Mona Lisa. I don't know how it happened. Nobody knows this, right? I had the real Mona Lisa at my house. Okay, so I was putting up the Mona Lisa last night, and somehow it changed. A new picture appeared. I don't know how, but a new picture appeared. I want you to see this. It's kind of disturbing. Probably happened when you were at Washington, D.C., when you're working at that museum. You probably did something to this museum. I'm going to show this to people. It's disturbing. I'm just warning you. Hold on to something. It's Bob. Somehow your face is on Mona Lisa now.
How the hell did that happen?
What the hell did you do to that painting? What'd you do to it?
Probably because it's on wood. It's on wood. Just like it used to be on canvas, but now it's on wood. You know what the famous saying is now in the Mandela Effect community? If you ain't on wood, you're not fucking cool. The Statue of Liberty is now on wood. So I should have a fucking t-shirt made, dude. It says if you ain't on wood, I don't know. You could.
Actually, why don't we have a t-shirt with that saying on it? I think it'd be a popular shirt.
You need to be on wood. The Mona Lisa's on wood. Statue of Liberty's on wood. Everything's on fucking wood.
Well, if you look at the painting, I mean, I'm glad the Mandela Effect changed where you are now it's called Mona I almost forgot the name. Mona Roberto. So
Roberto.
So Medela, not Medela. Sorry, Mona Lisa is no longer Mona Lisa. It's Mona Roberto.
Yes, it's now officially on wood. So now that it's it's Roberto Lisa. Looks a lot better. Yeah,
it is a lot better. You know why? Because it shows. You know what that painting shows? It shows that now finally, man and woman kind of combine from the ancient to the nowadays.
Yes. Well, they said that actually in my time there was a conspiracy that said that Leonardo painted himself. That was supposed to be his own self in drag. I don't know if you knew that. He was supposed to be himself in drag. Like, he painted himself. I don't know if you knew that. That's what the smirk is about. Well, smirk is about him painting himself. I got this.
That's what I wanted to ask you. Now, all joke aside, where somehow you made love to the painting and now your face is on it. Besides that, what is the true Mandela effect that's behind the Mona Lisa, the real one?
Her smirk, her face, her expression. It's her expression.
I see Michael Healy is in the chat, and we invited him back on to tell us more of his story. So I'm putting the stream link on, but it's only for Michael. So just letting everybody know, we invited Michael on. I don't want to have 4 people. I want to make it easier. So Michael, here's the stream link.
This is the best wine I've ever fucking had in my life, dude.
And I want to do a shout out to Flat Accord Music. He sent a little message that he enjoyed our Joan Jett little documentary. You know, he probably enjoyed the saying you at the end of it. He probably kicked it off. So I appreciate him watching that video and enjoying it.
The best wine I've ever had. That is fucking delicious.
Didn't you say the real Mona Lisa, the smile, not the smile, but the lips have changed?
Yeah, her smile changed. She was not smiling. She had it's like she had bad teeth. It's like if somebody was beautiful with bad teeth and didn't want to smile because they're afraid to show their teeth. Imagine like you ate corn. Like, imagine if the Mona Lisa was like a beautiful woman and she just got back from eating corn. You and I have been out places we had, you know, the corn, like you go to the cherry auctions, we had the corn, like you steam the corn, you got all that beautiful, you put paprika and all kinds of good stuff, eating the corn. Well, imagine if Mona Lisa ate corn. What's up, dude? And then she's doing
finishing the story about Mona Lisa real quick.
Yeah, so she didn't want to smile, so she had like a smirk. And I was in Paris. Now, I remember I'm overseas. I'm where homeboy lives over here in England, but I was over in Paris, which is like a hop skip. And I got to see the Mona Lisa, which was really controversial because it was a huge fucking line, like a monster line to see the Mona Lisa. It's small as fuck, and you could see it at a distance in this huge empty room. I'm talking like you could fit fucking over 100 people, if not more than 100 people. Huge room. Huge, and you've got lines that made a snake inside, and you had one painting, one fucking painting with 2 guards with the Mona Lisa, and then you got guards pushing people through. When I say pushing people through, it's like you stop for like 1, 2, 3 seconds, go. 1, 2, 3 seconds, go. So one group, the line would come up, they stop, and the Chinese would bring up their cameras, and just about they didn't even hit the button yet, and they're pushed away. I mean, these guards were aggressive, dude. These are these fucking French guards, and they're just fucking pushing you next, and next. So everyone's reaching from a distance trying to get their camera up, take a picture of the Mona Lisa. Now, I'm right up on it, so we're getting to it. I'm like, okay, I have an idea. I'm going to act like one of the guards. So I stepped out of the line with a line of people doing whatever tour, and I'm like being kind of pushy too. I go, let's go. Like I'm in charge of Like, I'm a tour guide. Let's go. Stop. Next, and I'm actually faking it like I'm part of the fucking tour circuit. And as I'm doing it, I'm standing across from the Mona Lisa. So I've got a direct view, and I'm staying in one spot because I'm directing strange people that have no idea who I am. They just see a big motherfucker going like, next. So we got it through, and then we got the pictures. No, I've got it on film. I got it on my videos. So I've got the Mona Lisa. I've got the picture. So it's not the same one. Leonardo da Vinci mass-produced. He had students. And so Leonardo da Vinci in this timeline, in this place, let's put it this way, in the actual place, he had several students who reproduced the Mona Lisa many, many times. There are so many reproductions of the Mona Lisa. You don't know which one you're seeing. Now, remember, archaeology, anthropology. That was not the Mona Lisa. That was not the original. Even outside of that whole Mandela effect bullshit, the fucker was not the real Mona Lisa. Mona Lisa has a completely different background. The texture was different. It was probably done by one of his students. Not to mention, it's constantly taken and hidden. It was stolen once. All kinds of stuff here.
Well, let's see if Michael, have you ever went to that museum and saw the Mona Lisa yourself?
I haven't, but my fiance has. Yeah.
Is there that the movie Da Vinci Code, whatever? Is there really supposed to be some kind of a message that's within that picture, or is that just false Tom Hanks shell making lies about the Mona Lisa? But is there really is a message in that Mona Lisa?
I haven't heard of that, to be honest.
What about you, Bob?
Well, there's a lot of changes in it.
No, not changes, but you know how that movie said there's a message in there?
Yeah, there's a couple of codes. He put a lot of codes in it.
Codes. That's what I meant, codes.
Yeah. There's a lot of codes. Well, number one, let's talk about the Mona Lisa. The Mona Lisa, it was stolen in 1911. It was stolen in 1911 and then found again in where? 19 what? What's our favorite number now?
13.
33.
13. 13. It was stolen in 1911 and found again in 1913. 1911, stolen, found in 1913. There's your consistent fucking number. And it's still painted on wood. I got all my notes down. There's many different versions. So it depends on which version you're looking at because it was painted by several different students. And the smile changed. Like I said, the smile is the one major thing that changed. And also, she has a hairnet. She's wearing a black hairnet in this version, the newer version. It's a black hairnet because the Mona Lisa's hair looks kind of thinner, flatter. So she wears a black mesh hairnet, which allows women with thin hair, which is telling me as a scientist that she had babies. Because especially over here in England, you bastards over here, you got a horrible healthcare system, and a lot of your pregnant ladies don't get enough. They don't get free natal vitamins here or whatever. So a lot of the women lose a lot of their vitamins. So when they have babies here in England, a lot of girls lose their hair. They get thin hair. I don't know if he's going to confirm this or not. I don't know if he has babies.
I think he has kids. I think I heard kids yesterday.
Yeah.
Does your wife or your girlfriend have thin hair, man?
I have to go upstairs now because it's too loud listening to children's cartoons. She does actually. Yeah.
So in England, a lot of women lose their hair. But anyway, especially back in that day, too. Well, you know, they didn't have as much nutrition as they do now. So she ain't fucking taking all them fucking prenatal vitamins. So when women had babies, they lost a lot of their hair. They got thin hair.
Remember, to be honest.
Oh, he got frozen. He's frozen.
Let me put him back. Let's see if that does it. Yeah, Michael, if you can hear us, you're frozen. So you might want to try. Let me try.
He's frozen.
What I'll do is I'll remove him and he can jump back in, and I'll put the post again for him, and then maybe we'll get a clean one. So, Michael, if you can hear me, just jump back in. You got frozen. So that's interesting. I never really.
Okay,
He's on the
there's
phone.
also an aquifer in the background. There's an aquifer. There's an aquifer.
There's a what?
There's an aquifer in the background of the Mona Lisa picture. Also,
okay.
Yeah, there's a small aquifer in the background, which is a remnant of this place, with the aquifers everywhere, with the earlier fucking beautiful system. When aquifers are wonderful fucking sanitation means badass fucking early cultures, but nobody talks about sanitation. Nobody in the fucking whole Mandela Effect community talks about the kick-ass sanitation systems I've saw all over the fucking world. Ancient sanitation systems are now being used for fucking railroads, but there's early sanitation systems, early aqueducts, which is fucking awesome. Also, they're missing a UFO. It's missing a UFO. The original Mona Lisa had a UFO in the background. An unidentified flying object was always in the back of the Mona Lisa.
Well, let's find out from Michael. What do you remember about the Mona Lisa?
I have no idea about a UFO. That's news to me. But yeah, I remember no smile, and she looked like a really miserable bitch. Excuse my French.
No, the UFO. Bob, what do you mean by UFO? You mean the original picture had a UFO in it?
Yeah.
No.
In the background.
Where was that in a painting? If I try to research it, if I try to find this UFO in it, where would I look?
I'm trying to look at my mind's eye. I think it was to the. I'm trying to fucking remember. To the left or to the right? It was above her, up into one of the corners. It was up into one of the corners.
So if I'm looking at the picture here with your face on it, I know your face is on it. You're saying it's more toward the corner?
Trying to remember, man. Here's the funny part, people. I'm the one with a fucking genetic problem with memories. I don't have fucking memories, and nobody else can remember shit that I remember, which is probably a fucking it drives me nuts. I'm the one with the difficulties. But there was in the back, up above her, I want to say to the right.
I'm sorry.
Oh my god! I've just had a
I'm trying to
really
imagine
weird...
Mona Lisa, but I just keep seeing your face on it.
I know I can't really fucking. I gotta look at my notes. I got tons of notes. I try to write down everything I remember from each thing before I come on. So I got papers of shit trying to go. But there was a
you know what, Rob? Now you're saying it.
An object in the sky, and it was up above her shoulder. I got.
No, you're saying it. It rings a bell. There was some sort of object just to the as I'm looking at it now, just to the left, like something.
Yeah,
I don't know.
Yeah, thank you. The
that
left side.
Yeah.
It was in the left side. Thank you, man. You've got a fucking memory. Thank you for fucking remembering. Yeah. Left side, up on the left side. There was
there was something. I don't know what it was, but there was something thinking about it.
Yeah, you remember, man, because how can you not remember that? Because everybody always talked about, like the UFO community always talked about ancient aliens, and ancient aliens evidence was on all the ancient paintings, and all these paintings changed. And so all these paintings are missing the fucking UFOs. And that's the first thing I saw. The first thing I saw was the missing UFOs. And so I'm running around going, and everyone's talking about, you get these shit fucking heads that have no memory. I don't know. I'm the one that's retarded. And they're like, the fingers have changed. The fingers have changed. Well, you know what I say? Every painting now has smoking fingers. That's all it is. Jesus himself has got smoking fingers in every painting. I call them smoking fingers.
Isn't there? There's also alien pictures in the Bible too, right? In scriptures, when they show pictures of scriptures.
There was a lot of UFOs. You mean
UFOs, alien life form, anything like that. I know flat Earth. There's some pictures almost like there's a flat Earth, but isn't there with stuff on the sky like a spaceship?
Yeah,
I thought one time
there was a lot, especially in early antiquity paintings, medieval paintings. In our time, there was in our memory time, I call it. There was lots of aerial unidentified objects in the sky. Now, I don't believe in aliens. I believe in interdimensionals. I think they're what we would call in the Bible, what Christians would call demons to me. I think you have demons or jinns. I like to use the word jinns. And they're interdimensional. They come in through the rift of time and space. They bounce through dimensions, through the fabric of time and space. They don't come in from fucking Mars. They don't come in from some strange ass planet that nobody's identified. on the fucking outside of Uranus, outside of Uranus area, your stinky Uranus. They come in interdimensionally.
Well,
and so our old timeline, they were coming in all the paintings. They were all over the skies.
let's ask Alexa.
Oh,
That's
don't
Alexa.
talk to Alexa.
Okay. Alexa, is there aliens? I'm sorry, my fault. Hold on. I messed up. Sorry.
Here's something I found on the.
Oh, hold on. Whoops. Okay, here it is. Alexa, is there a UFO in the Mona Lisa?
Sorry, I don't know that one.
Alexa's not good. Sorry about that. I thought Alexa will give us a better answer.
What'd she say?
Here it says, here's something I found on the web. According to Neutralrama.com, the 1979 movie Alien and its 1986 sequel Aliens are both masterpieces, followed by other lesser sequels.
Bring
It came up.
Bring up the Mona Lisa again. Bring up the Mona Lisa.
No, Mona Roberto.
Bring up Roberto. I'm gonna look for this fucking alien. Look for the aqueduct. Bring up the whole screen. Get rid of our handsome faces and put up the whole fucking screen. Okay. There's no way to zoom in on that motherfucker. So if you guys look for the aqueduct, if you guys see the aqueduct, you're gonna see a UFO. If there's one in there. There is one that looks like it's in there above the aqueduct. If you can see it.
Is it the darker black, like almost circle?
Yeah, it's kind of like that. Yeah. You'll see if you could.
It looks like a little blue water to the left, and right above it, it looks a little darker, like it's black, like it's round.
If you go up a little further.
Oh, I got it.
You got to see it?
By your sheds.
You explain it to him, because he don't understand me. You tell Eric.
It's a bit small on my phone, but yeah, it looks like
bigger?
it's something near the sheds. Am I right? No. Oh, hang on.
Oh.
No.
It's it.
I need
I see a flat Earth on the top right.
We'll leave it for everyone. We'll leave it for your sidebar to go find a new picture on their own side phones and just stare at it and see it. We'll have them put it in there. Since we're all looking at a modified, it's funny painting. It's modified, so we can't really. We're all like killing it. I can't identify it. I'm just trying to point it out. But we'll do it like that. It is interesting that there's a lot of UFOs, a lot of unidentified objects, flying objects in the sky in all the old paintings. And a lot of them are missing. Or they're relocated in new spots. They're like, that's the secret behind these little paintings. Is the first thing I saw was I was looking for the rearrangement of the UFOs in the paintings. Totally different. But no one talks about that.
Do you know what's really crazy?
What's that?
I don't know if this one affects you. I'm talking Mandela now. Sorry, if you don't mind me talking Mandela.
No, go for it.
What are your thoughts about the pyramids being right next door to Cairo, the Great Pyramids? Because for me, they were always way down further southwest in the desert. And then now there's some Giza Gardens or something to the west.
Man, there were three, dude. There were three fucking pyramids in my time. I always think of myself. I think of the dad, the son, and the daughter.
Yeah.
I always think of dad is the biggest pyramid. The son is a little bit shorter than dad because dad, I think it was a teenager.
Well, how many is there now?
What? I don't fucking know.
No, there's still three, but there's two that are about the same size.
There's almost the same size, and there's three. There's three plus another three plus another three now. I think there's three in it.
There's more down the desert, isn't there? Yeah.
No, here's the thing. And I went to college for fucking Egyptology. And Egyptology, I failed the class because I couldn't. It was too fucking hard. And when people think of Egyptology, they think of you go right into the pyramids. No, man, you start from fucking the earliest humans found with the proto-human fucking bones all the way down the Nile, and you work your way up. But in my time, they had pyramids that were being constructed all the way up the Nile that exit all the way out into the Mediterranean. They had small pyramids that were always being built all the way up, and they were nasty small ones. Like they were practicing along the way. And when they made it up to towards the edge of the water of the Mediterranean, that's when they got a lot more better. They got a lot more sophisticated. Then they had the 3 main ones. And then in our time, they say that the argument was that they lined up with Orion's belt, exact measurement of the stars from Orion's belt. So when you see them, you go, these are Orion's belt. And then they had some super scientists that went there and did some dead-on, mapping measurements and says it did not line up with Orion's belt from the stars. And they were correct because it did not line up with the stars. So it was debunked. But then an argument came because then a paleo astrologist came in and says, you guys are looking at it at the wrong time. You're looking at the present time with the stars the way they are now. He says you need to roll the clock back a few thousand years where everything has changed up above. And then they remapped it, and they did, in fact, line up with Orion's belt. Again, this is just academic arguments. Is it true?
Let me ask you a stupid question. This is probably stupid. It's probably lame.
Yeah.
But about pyramids, the movie Stargate, was there anything in that movie Stargate that can be technically, you think it could be truthful, that it was kind of made for somewhere else, and now there's another place, another reality?
Well, it's a circle.
Movies are documentaries to me at this point, to be honest.
That's what I mean. It could be like a documentary. I was just curious. You're talking about
the circle. I mean, imagine. Let's just talk about what breaks through time and space. You require magnets, right? So you need magnets in a circle, a compressed circle, and then the magnets need to be. You need a large amount of magnets with a lot of power. And once you have a large amount of magnets with a lot of power, according to the CERN's fucking little thing, I don't know how they do, but they cool they cool the magnets down to a freezing, like certain cold temperatures, like in
9999999.
Yeah. And so you have a positive. Yeah, remember you have like magnets. You have a positive. If you take 2 magnets and you put them together and they repel each other, and you flip them around, they stick to each other. Yeah. So basically, you have to have them all like that. So they have to be like positive all the way around the circle. So whatever's in the center has to be suspended. So it's got to stay in the center. But anyway, once you push that magnet power through, and then you pierce time.
Somebody in the chat says they Google the Egyptian pyramids. It shows 6 pyramids, not 3. But let me ask Alexa, how many pyramids are there in Egypt?
Here's what I found on reference.com. There are over 100 pyramids in Egypt, and the majority are located around the city of Cairo, including the famous pyramids at Giza. One notable exception to this is the pyramid at Abydos in southern Egypt.
Over 100 pyramids?
Yeah, in my time they had all the way up but see, they don't call some of them. They didn't call pyramids because they were so eroded. Archaeologists, you have to be an archaeologist. A regular person ain't gonna walk up and see a pyramid. They were early ones, and they were like step pyramids, and I learned this in college, so they were like nasty ones going all the way up. They were like and they're small as fuck. So they were counting even the small ones going again. Yeah, well, even people, typical, like somebody sitting in a fucking McDonald's parking lot is not going to know about pyramids. So they're going to say there's only this. You got to know about the pyramids, the actual earlier ones. They were trying to be built. They're highly eroded now. Look like mounds in my time. And they were all up around the Egyptian island and all the way up from early down Africa, down early where the water. Now, people don't know this about the Nile. The Nile, people think that the Nile flows in from the Mediterranean. The Nile flows out. It flows out from underground, from Africa, from underground, and it flows out into the Mediterranean. You understand? So the
Loads of
water flows
aqueducts as
inward.
well. Aren't
So the water flows out. So
I got
people.
another question for you both, or
What's
maybe
that?
we have to ask Alexa on this one. How many pyramids are there worldwide?
Oh my God.
Well, let's find out. Alexa, how many pyramids are there worldwide?
There are 220 pyramids.
220.
How many Great Walls are there worldwide now? Jeez.
How many did you say?
It said 220 pyramids worldwide,
Okay.
according
I mean,
to Alexa.
Well, see, the reason I'm talking about the Nile is that people don't understand about the significance of the water. Because it flows up out of the Mediterranean, they used to ride their boats up. They rode their boats from inland Africa out. So civilization started around the water where the water came out of the ground first. That's where the oasis is. It started from the oasis. So the early Egyptians started around the oasis in Africa. This is the theory. So don't fucking hate me if I'm just saying it wrong. And then the civilization moved up the Nile out towards the Mediterranean. That's where they built the bigger ones. There was like 2 sets of 3 small pyramids. Also, the Sphinx spelling changed. You guys knew that. Yeah. Anyway, watch the videos. But
There's still a river.
Pyramids need water. What's that?
Is there still a river at the main pyramids?
Well, yeah. The pyramids need water. That's when they're like batteries, man. They need water. So the Egyptian or the pyramids in South America, they all have the same thing. They have underwater water reserves underneath the pyramids. I mean, you call it a big magnet. I don't fucking know what you want to call them. But yeah,
they've got aqueducts, haven't they? I've seen the underground aqueducts and stuff.
Yeah,
but the pyramids for me, the Great Pyramids were always really fun. It just blows my mind seeing them right up against Cairo. To be honest, that's weird. That to me.
Yeah,
I have a vivid memory of looking at the map, and they were there, man. The Great Pyramids were not up against Cairo. For me,
no. The Cairo was gone. No, Cairo was way the fuck down, dude. It was way the fuck down, because we know that from early history. Well, in our time, we'll just say in our memory, the French Napoleon, you remember, was on his way up to fight. You know, he's on his way up to go fight everybody up in Russia, and well, we don't know what that is now. It's Italia. It's like, who knows in this place? But he had stopped in the Cairo, and we used to joke about, because me and my dad, I remember dad, we used to joke about when they had the Pharaoh's face, how many bullet holes did he have in his face? We were trying to count the bullet holes in his face because his men used his fucking face as target practice. Boom, 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 boom. They were shooting fucking black powder fucking boom into his face, but there was no fucking city there. There's no city there. I mean, you would think that Napoleon's army would have they would have resupplied there. They didn't resupply. They stopped there. They had their gunneries and shit stopped there and around the Sphinx area, but there was no cities there. Because they would have resupplied there. There would have been all kinds of information about them resupplying their army there. Nobody talks about that. Oh, there's a fucking city there. Well, what about Napoleon's troops? There's your freaking, there's your residual, because there's nothing in history about them resupplying their fucking troops. Because there was a city right there. There's no city there. Like you said, there's no city there.
No.
I've been to a pyramid before. Yeah, I stayed a night at a pyramid before. It's right there in Las Vegas. Yeah, it's called. They call it the Luxor. At one time, remember, Bob? We used to have a river inside the hotel.
What is that?
They took it out, but there used to be a river inside.
Yeah, what does that tell you? Oh, I got some wine. What does that tell you? That's hilarious. That there's like fucking there's a river underneath the pyramid at the that kind of
they took it out, but you should get on a boat ride around the whole hotel. And I don't know if you ever been to Vegas. You know, they actually have a pyramid Luxor, and when you go up in the elevator, it does it does slide a little bit.
No, I've never been to America.
Well, you're welcome.
One day,
like,
my great aunt lives in California. Actually, I haven't been yet.
California. That's where we're originally from. We're originally from California.
Oh, right.
We were born there, raised there.
In Central Valley. Oh my God! It's
Yeah, not the best part of California. So you know of Los Angeles, Hollywood. We were in a place called Fresno. It was like the pit of all California. No, Bakersfield was actually the pit hole. We were the second pit hole to Bakersfield.
We were Kerman, outside of Fresno. We're smaller than Fresno.
We were even smaller.
Yeah, we're smaller. We actually had one of the only towns with a white person's name. No offense to any race out there.
Really?
Kerman was it was like you got all these different Latino names, and all of a sudden you have Kerman. Like that don't sound right. It was like the only white person's, only Caucasian man's name in the entire fucking valley, Kerman.
But man, I tell you, you need to go visit Hollywood because the British invaded Hollywood. Almost every other actor is all from the UK, and it's like, wow, there's that many. It's like, are all the best actors from Britain? I mean, it's like
there isn't there really when you think about it. Yeah.
Well, I mean, look at the latest Star Wars movies. Rey, Britain. Some of those, they're all Britain. A lot of them from Britain. I'm like, wow, Britain invades everything.
I'm just remembering something.
You're just better than us.
Do you know what? I actually met the guy that played Darth Vader. What's his name?
Darth Vader, the real guy or the voice? Earl Jones.
Earl Jones. No, the real guy. He came to
the real guy. Yeah, I forgot his name.
James Earl Jones. I met him in Blackburn in UK when I was, 4 or 5.
I always feel bad for him because they never really had his name highlighted in the movie when he was actually the man in the suit. They always had Earl Jones, who was only the voice.
Yeah.
That guy never got credit for wearing that suit.
Yeah, his voice he was Darth Vader. I mean, his voice is smooth.
Earl Jones' voice was. But you still got to get credit to the other guy who
wore the suit.
Cool that you met him.
It's like Jason Voorhees from Friday the 13th. Friday the 13th. You know, he's the guy in the suit that nobody ever gave credit to.
Hopper, Kane Hopper.
Oh, you know his name?
Yeah, the guy played. Well, there's been different people that play Friday the 13th, but Kane Hopper played like 5 of the Friday the 13th movies. He did the most.
Yeah.
Yeah, he would actually wear his hockey mask and his makeup to restaurants after he did a shoot.
Yeah.
So think about that. You know, you're at a restaurant and there's Jason sitting there eating food with his makeup still on.
Yeah, and people thought that his mask was a Mandela effect. I'm laughing. No, it was not a Mandela. I remember going back watching the movie going, they got a fucking different mask in each movie. What the fuck?
Well, listen, you really can't different masks. Because look at Michael Myers. In every single movie, it's always a different mask. So you can't really say a mask change.
Yeah, a real hockey mask.
Like Michael, I don't know how much you know about the Halloween movies. Do you know what the original Halloween mask was? It was?
No, I can't remember, to be honest.
I remember that.
No.
It's the original mask, because they didn't have a lot of money, was Captain Kirk, William Shatner's mask. And they took his mask and they painted it white.
He was late for the set. I heard the guy was late for the set. He stopped into a fucking costume store, and he couldn't. Because all the other masks are copyrighted. You can't just use their masks without permission. And then he fucking saw the plain ass Captain fucking Kirk, William Shatner's fucking mask, and he spray painted it white.
They painted it white, and they forgot to hire somebody to play Michael Myers. And they forgot to hire someone to play Michael Myers, so they got one of the crew member, because he was like 6'4", to put on the white mask, painted, and play him.
Spray painted it white, like on the set during the filming. The motherfucker's got to walk around with fresh white paint just tearing onto the mask. He's smelling that fucking paint. You get huffing paint.
Do you know when Jason Voorhees first wore the hockey mask?
Ooh, I know.
Which one?
I know. Does he know?
Nope.
Now, see,
No
remember,
idea.
and on all the Friday 13th movies, like just this is 8 of them. Now, Jason was not in 2 of them.
Maybe
Jason was not in the first one. Of course, the first one was the mama. And then the second one, he wore a potato sack.
Yes.
Now, I love that mask. I thought he had one eye.
It was the 3D one.
No, the hockey mask came in the third one, which was the 3D one.
Yeah, the third one, the 3D
Third
one. I remember
And
3.
then, now, the 5th Friday 13th movie, technically, that was not Jason Voorhees at all. It was an imposter killing people to pretend he was Jason.
Yeah, it was the
Friday 13 history, guys. Little Friday 13 history. Sorry.
I have no idea about Friday the 13th.
It was the ambulance driver. Yeah.
Got orange. That's better.
So yesterday, I think I got to apologize to you, Michael. I know a few times I accidentally stepped over you because I have a hearing issue with low hearing. Sometimes I can't hear low hearing. So this time, when you got a good story for us, I'm going to put on my headphones so I can turn up the volume. But is there a story about part of your awakening you want to tell us about at all?
I should have brought some notes, really. I'm having a mind fart.
Oh, best notes. The best is whatever is up here, man. Raw is the best.
I can tell you how I came to the Mandela effect, really, I suppose.
Yeah.
There you go. That works.
I think I started telling you. I think was it you? I can't
remember. Yeah, I had to talk to Eric because Eric's tone deaf. And so I go, Eric, he was talking to him. You kept talking. Eric goes, I didn't know that. Yeah, dude. So I said, dude, make sure today you get your headphones so you can hear what he said. So I
got him.
Tell us again. I know you did yesterday, but tell us again.
So yeah, the missing Matrix meme sparked my interest. I thought, nah. And then I think it was the Hello Clarice. And I thought, no. And then I debunked it. And then I realized it wasn't a debunk at all. It was just a CGI rendering. And I thought, oh, fuck, this is real. And then I thought, nah, it's an internet psyop. It's got to be. And then I saw things like the pyramids weren't in the middle of the desert. Like, I imagine they were, in my mind's eye, they were right in the middle. Well, not the middle, but they were not right up against Cairo.
No.
And then the North Pole just melted instantly. Loads of weird stuff.
Big one.
And you said it started in March, wasn't it, of last year?
Early March, I think it was, because I started watching.
That's right, and that's when. And that's when you thought that's when you told us some information where you heard a lot of people were waking up in the month of March. That was interesting.
Oh yeah, that's it. That's right. I was listening to somebody who had this theory where there was waves of people waking up every March. Yeah, can't remember which one I was on when I was listening to that. And there was another thing about I think I mentioned it yesterday, about the third-party information, don't quote me, but all the pastors, all the religious preachers, they were getting told they know it's happening, but they're getting told not to tell anybody.
Oh, yeah.
So, yeah, there's that. But,
the Bible, the biggest one for everybody. I
remember you had a heart attack. No, wasn't you? Did you say you said you almost died, right?
No.
That was somebody else.
That's a good question. Did you ever have a near death, dude? You ever have a fucking? I'm petting a cat, by the way. I always make you calm down, kitty.
Did you? I was going to get onto that yesterday. Yeah, I was going to ask you that before you shut up because you had to go. I actually have had a few near-death experiences, which is, I don't know, it could be something to it.
Give us one, man.
I got a speed wobble on my motorbike about 90.
Oh, he freezes. He's telling. Oh shit!
Hopefully it's not back on because I want to hear it.
Classic, man. Classic. Every time.
Let me put the stream link so he doesn't have to look for it again. So he can just see it. Hey, Michael, if you can hear us, I put the StreamYard right back for you because I want to hear that story. That was a cool story.
Yeah, I want to hear it. I want to.
Weird things happen, you know.
I'll talk about the magnets at CERN, I guess, to make a time travel machine. So you need magnets, and they got to be negative. Well, the CERN magnets are negative 271.3. So you got to have magnets, and they got to be powerful with a heavy charge. They got to be CERN's magnets are negative 271.3, which is kind of like space. It's like space. You're reenacting space, and then which equals 13, by the way. So if you look at CERN's magnets and how cold they are to push the particle through to rip through time and space. I take the piss out of shit because I don't fucking believe anything. But if you guys believe in CERN, that's your fucking thing. That you need magnets. They got to be basically the chill of space, which is 271.3, and then the equal 13, and then you guys can go through time and space. Just letting you guys know about that. And then the pyramids. Go back to the pyramids.
I wish we had Texas Danny in the chat because he actually made some videos last week about the pyramids. There you go.
Sorry about that.
I try to avoid that. I'm so fucking tired.
Weird things happen when 3 people are on the show. Always.
Oh no.
We had Brian last week. Remember, I kicked me off.
Can you still say
yes? Let's hear how you almost died.
Oh, we lost him again. As soon as you say die, he dies.
Okay, so pyramids.
Man.
Pyramids. So the new fucking pyramids, they found a black sarcophagus in the fucking thing, like a big ass black box. Now, what the fuck's that about?
Real quick about the pyramids, because I can't remember if I'm hearing opposite. Was the pyramid used to be in a straight line, or is it not in a straight line? Because I know there's been a lot of discussion on that.
If you look at Orion's belt, because later on the paleo fucking whatever guy said that they did line up like Orion's belt. So if you look up, if you ever want to see how the pyramids were originally lined, look at the 3 pyramids at Orion's belt. So there's your answer. I got it in a book. I got it in my book. I got a residual of the pyramids in my book. So I'm going to look for it or wait for him to come back on. But yeah, they just look at Orion's belt and any astrology picture or anything you're going to look up at, and then you'll see what these look like. Now I have them here. They used to be here. I had them here. Oh, here we go. More pyramids. Step pyramids. Things like these step pyramids and shit like that. These are the.
Let me put you on full screen.
Yeah.
There you are.
These are kind of the earlier step pyramids that they were making for a short time. Here's some other pyramids styles. You see how they're really poorly put together from bad math. Probably trying to learn. I don't know why. They were calling them tombs. They say they were tombs. It's the same thing as the snake at the Snake River in the United States. Now here's a residual of the pyramids. Here's how the pyramids at the bottom used to look. This book went through a little bit of a change, but at least these 3 guys are hanging in there. You notice how clean it is. There's no mess. You see that? Interesting right there. So those are the pyramids there, how they used to look. This book luckily held on to some residuals. But it's a paleo, or it's a frauds myth book. This is part of my debunking book. This is parapsychology book. But some things have changed. Some things have become significant in here. And the pyramids are now being found in this place pretty much all over the fucking globe. I mean, they're everywhere. If you stop to take a piss, you got to be careful. or if you want to take a dump, be careful because you might take a dump on a pyramid. So you got to really watch out for that. They're all over the place. So yeah, let's see. There's 2 sets of the 3 small pyramids. There's 2 sets of the 3 small pyramids around the fucking front now, and they're all eroded to shit. It looked just like the ones way down at the beginning of the Nile. So it's like the ones who built the ones at the Nile started building them around the ones at the big ones. They must have been much, much earlier than the old ones that were there. Yeah. So before there was like no small ones in the front. There was no fucking small anything around those big, the 3 fucking the big ones. I call it the dad, the son, and the daughter. The Father, the Son, and the Holy Ghost. The trilogy of 3. So you had your trilogy of 3. Now we don't have any fucking trilogy at all because this whole place is a big ass lie. Everything's a lie. Those things were like made much later, much earlier. Those 3 are made much earlier, much, much earlier. Just trying to hide. They're just trying to hide the, in my opinion, in my crazy ass opinion, the lost tribes of Israel. My face is on here all by itself. We're all trying to hide the lost tribes of Israel so nobody will wake up and realize that they might be one big ass 44,013th Israeli or tribe of the Israelites. That we might all storm back into Israel and take over the missing lost tribes of Israel. So everything's made fake. All of the Middle East is all fake. They blew up all the antiquity so nobody can find any evidence of any Israelites in any place. People say, what's World War, fucking Desert War 1 and 2 for and 3 for out in the desert? It's to steal all the artifacts and remove any evidence of any early Israelites so nobody knows if they're part of an Israelite family or not, if they're the missing tribes, as I keep joking about. Oh, this is good wine.
Well, he's not going to be able to make it back on because he's having phone problems. But I thought, if you don't mind, then maybe we take just a fast 5 minutes. I could go upstairs real quick and make me another cup of coffee. Would that sound good? So maybe let me. I'll play one of my an old 5 minute.
Yeah, perfect.
Of the movie Dogs in Space. Just until we, you know what I mean? So I'm going to put that on right now. I'm going to go get some coffee right now, and then I'll be right back. So go bathroom. So everybody will be right back.
Yeah, me too.
Welcome, my friends, to another Mr. True Thoughts Pick of the Week. Okay, guys, this Pick of the Week, I'm thinking 95% of you have never heard of this movie, have never seen this movie. It's called Dogs in Space. All right, and actually, one of the stars is the ex-singer from NXS, Michael Hutchison. You know, of course, you know, who passed away. He's actually in this movie. But this movie is great. I'm going to tell you a little bit about it, but somehow find it. Maybe it's on YouTube, the full movie. It's a movie made back in 1986. I'm telling you, if you're going to give a movie a chance, give this movie a chance. I'm telling you right now, trust me, give this movie a chance, and I guarantee you'll like it. But first I'm going to do is show you the trailer, to show you what it looks like, and then we'll talk about it, okay? All right, here we go.
Everybody is acting so deranged. I said, face down. Let's face up to the facts. You know that I can't see your horizon. I know you come. And I can't see the reason, not even one. It's like driving a car, you know. I drive a V8, I wouldn't drive anything else. Is that you?
young man dogs these times. All right, you saw the trailer. Now, a movie that's kind of close like this, and I don't know if you remember this movie. It's called Sid and Nancy. The one that had stars Gary Oldman when he was young. He played Sid Vicious. The movie is back in the British punk era. And then, he's in America. So that's more of an Americanized movie. A lot of people seen it. Okay? It's about the punk era. Now, people forget other countries have a punk era too. This movie is Melbourne, Australia, back in 1978. The movie is actually based on a true story, all right, about the punk movement in 1978. There's a band called Dogs in Space, the title of the movie, okay? It's like they live in this house with a bunch of people who just live in the house. There's people who live in the house. They didn't even know they were living in the house, okay? It's like one big party, one big punk movement. If you're young, you kind of remember the days when you're going to a concert and everybody jumps in a small vehicle. You got like 15, 20 people in a bug going to a show. It's all in this movie. It's all like fun memories. You guys remember having that party outside? The party kind of crazy, so you start dragging out the couches from your house, and then you had that old TV on a lead on fire. It's all in the movie. You guys remember doing that, right? Burning that TV outside, having fun. And the movie's crazy. There's like a guy with a chainsaw that just for whatever reason like the chainsaw, like screaming and yelling. So the movie has a lot of craziness. It's like I said, it's during the punk era of Australia. It's a good history movie. Michael Hutchison did a great job in it. He wasn't like the main star. He was in it, so it wasn't overlapping with somebody that doesn't have the skill to be an actor. He fit in the movie. All right.
We're back.
Yeah, I had to use my my little machine, so I had to wait a little bit. Since I'm downstairs, usually I can just go, in the kitchen from the front room, but since I'm downstairs.
Yeah, I've been drinking wine, man. I usually don't drink till like the weekend, but it's Friday. This is fucking the best wine I've ever had in my life. Good God. It's called the Vine of the Two Sons. My God. This is one of the best fucking, I don't know if you can get this on there or not. I have never, it's 2000.
Put you on the main screen.
We can get it on there.
There it is. Les Romaines.
Yeah, it's just one of the best wines I've ever had in my life. I'm not fucking with people. I'm not a wine guy. It's really good.
I for a second, I'm like, that doesn't look like Michael.
Who is this stranger?
For a second, I thought that was Michael, and I'm like, whoa, shit. Michael is different.
Michael told me to come on. He said, "Funny, chime in, okay?"
Looks like you got better internet because you look a lot clearer and you don't have a delay.
Yeah, I got a laptop now, and I used to be on a tablet. So.
Oh, okay. No, that's cool.
Yeah,
that's cool. So hey, kind of same thing with Michael. Let's talk about your awakening. Now we can hear you good. We can respond easier.
Yeah,
tell us about your awakening.
That's much better. Yeah, where does awakening start?
Whenever you decided that there is something different. There is something that I need to research. What made you finally decide to go to YouTube to ask friends, or what made you want to research in the first place?
Yeah, that's a good question, Eric. And actually, I was born researching. I think to go short, My awakening process has been a little bit different than most of the flat Earth and Mandela affected people. Because I've been through Mandela effect and through flat Earth before everything changed. I've tried to wake people up to the fact of flat Earth and the Mandela effect. But
what was first, flat Earth or Mandela, or was it the same time?
Flat Earth. Flat
Earth was first time? Okay.
Yeah. So,
May I ask you real quick? Before you went to Mandela Effect, Flat Earth, what made you finally decide that? So, everybody was lying to us about the Earth being round. What made you starting to realize the world could be flat?
The lies, my friend. I was a liar, so I am sorry.
No, I'm not blaming you, Rob. I'm not blaming you, Eric. I know how to react to this because I've been on ships and I've been on boats. I live in Holland, so sailing is quite a natural thing to do here, right? We live by lakes. We live
all
by
three of us have been on boats. Bob, Navy, Coast Guard, and you.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. So when I was on a ship, like when I was 12 or 13 years old, and also when I was on my surfboard, right? Holding the I was young, so I was holding it like this. The geek. Boom.
Yeah, I understand.
And I could see like so far in the distance, and I was asking people like, how can it be that I can see 20 kilometers or 30 kilometers when there's should be a curve? And then people start to tell me like, oh yeah, but when you're on a tiny ship, on a tiny boat, you can only see 4 kilometers. So I said to them, yeah, so this doesn't add up. I shouldn't see that. So, but that was when I was very young, that was when I was 10, 11, 12 years old. And I never was convinced by the globe deception or perception because I've had these thoughts like, hey, I can see that. The globe doesn't add up. What do my parents, what does the shipper make of it? What does the skipper say of this? And that's the one thing, huh? How you can perceive a lie. They will give you a plausible answer that's only one sentence long. They will not need too much air to breathe. They will just tell you in a propaganda way, it's like this and like that. And there it's finished. And after that, there's actually no questions available.
Yeah.
So my waking up that's not actually an answer to your question.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah, it is, right? But
Yeah.
but when things really changed for me was 3 years ago. But that was not a Mandela effect. That was not a Mandela effect, or not a flat Earth effect. But that was the Voynich effect. I read Voynich. Yeah. I started to read the Voynich manuscript, and I could read it.
What script is this?
Yeah.
What script? The Voynich?
No, you see my name here?
Voynich. Voynich. Okay. I'm dumb, man. Come on. I represent an audience like myself.
Dude, it's Friday.
That's cool.
It's Friday.
I'm drinking wine.
Yeah, but since I got into these things and the mysteries of the world and history and legends and myths. I've always liked this, and so once upon a time, this video came up on YouTube about the Voynich manuscript. I might have heard about it before, but I never really delved into it. And then I started to delve into it. I looked at one video. I said, that's weird. Like a language and symbols that nobody understands. That's really weird. And nobody ever did it, right? And then I got into a video about some guy saying he solved 10 symbols of the Voynich manuscript. And then I thought, how can you only solve 10 symbols when there's like so many symbols it's not like it's like saying I deciphered the alphabet and I deciphered 10 letters, so now I know the alphabet. That doesn't work like that. How come you didn't decipher the rest? But this, by the way, he was talking about these letters or these symbols. He said, "Oh, this is that, and that is that, because it stands next to this picture, and this picture contains 7 stars, and Taurus, you know, the bull in the zodiac,
Yeah.
it has 7 stars, so therefore this must say Taurus." And I was thinking, wow, this guy must be really in something like amplifying, you know. There's many more stars in Taurus. It's 7 bright stars, but there's much more. So I was thinking, now this is bullshit. And no, that is not a T. That's a Ts, not a T or a S, but a Ts. And he also explained about some other letters. I said, no. And then I got interested, and then I thought, like, how can it be that I think I know better than this man? Why do I think I know better than this guy? Why do I think this?
You do.
And so I started out like this S sound, and with this S sound, and with this O sound. So I had just 3 letters to begin with. And I was quite convinced that I was right. So I started. And then the trip began, man. And I found out so many truths. I'm not saying that I am the one who decoded the Voynich manuscript, but I got into some area, some world, some realm in which I could read about my previous lives, about this life. I mean, you know, I just started to write down everything I thought I read, right?
Yeah.
So but I didn't know what I was writing down. I was just writing down phonetical sounds, you know, just doesn't make any sense to you at all, right? Until you write it down, you read it, and you read it in a different way. And something came up, man. I mean, every name of my siblings, every name of my friends, every name that everybody I ever knew came up.
Yeah, wow. Yeah, I believe it. I do.
It's a trip, man. It's a trip. And
I know.
And it wasn't ghost writing, you know. It wasn't. I was not unconscious writing it. I was very, very focused on writing down the right letter. So yeah,
Look, dude, look at me, man.
Yeah, that's how I started. That's exactly how I started, Rob.
You know, you ain't crazy to me, man. Look at this shit, dude. This is a fucking week for me, man. This is what you I know what you're going through. So you keep talking.
It looks just like my page, Rob.
Yeah, but now you know other people's going through it. Doesn't that relieve some pressure off of you, making you feel better that now you got people to talk to about it?
Yeah, on YouTube, yes.
On YouTube, but not. Yeah, okay.
No, I know the town I live in is completely corrupted. Completely. 100%. I know my mother. I mean, the one I love most, right? It's my mother. Yeah. Can you if you would tell me like 4 years ago that I would curse my mother for being a bitch, I might have killed you, you know, because I wouldn't. Yeah. But I did it. Wow. just to make a cut, just to get a valley there, just to know that I'm not ever gonna be with you the same again as I was before. Same with my family, same with my friends. I'm so easy, you know. I'm so easy. When I'm angry with you, when I'm angry with Rob, the next day it's gone, you know.
Yeah, but how can you be angry with that guy up there? Isn't he the most teddy bear guy in the world?
His beard is longer than mine. That's why I'm fucking angry with this guy.
Now, are you going to that flat Earth thing in the UK? That meetup thing that they're doing?
No, I've been at Flat Earth convention in Amsterdam in the Netherlands. That was in September.
Amsterdam.
That was cool, man. That was cool.
I was in Amsterdam not too long ago. I ate a lot of Chinese over there. I'll tell you that.
Oh,
a lot of
yeah.
God damn, man. I'm like, oh, wait a minute. Now, in my time, it was communist China, and these fuckers were locked away. Since that's a Mandela effect for me. I'm like, since when do they open the gates of China? I'm not being racist, people. There's a lot of Chinese tourists, a lot of people from over those countries that you'd never seen before in these places. By the groves of them. Like,
Chinese and Japanese are crazy about Holland.
God.
Well, let me ask you a question, Bob. Let me ask you a question. You've been in the United States and you've been in the UK now. Have you noticed one part of the country is a lot easier to talk to about the Mandela effect versus the other, by any chance?
Oh, no, it's the same as the States. Honestly, will probably back this up. It don't matter what country you're in, man. It's a very fucking small few. Yeah. When I say small, maybe one other person, two, maybe tops. England, I can barely find anybody. They've got their own problems. They've got their made up controversy with their politics, just like how the United States has their made up policies. They keep you trapped in the politics, and they always have drama. I mean, over here they got the same drama with the royal family, as in we got the same drama with the Donald Trumps. Everybody's got the dramas, and nobody's looking up. Even in England, I have a wonderful. I mean, I had to come here because I couldn't stand the Americans anymore. I couldn't. Because I mean, I'd ask them questions. I just couldn't stand looking at stupid anymore. Nobody could look up. So I
totally understand that. I mean, I never hated Americans, but I could not understand the culture.
Well, Bob, I think it's more than that. Why you left? Because all your life going to college and all that. Yeah, you've always been studying. You've always been researching. And I think you research all you can here in the United States. Going somewhere new to a new country, it's like being born again in a small way.
I had no choice. The map changed. The map changed. It's fucking. I used to be a helmsman, Navy. I drove my ass from Japan down to fucking Australia. Took a little while. Now it's right there. The whole globe's changed. All of it, all of the Northern European it's all changed. I had to go see it. I wanted to make sure I'm not crazy. Now I'm sitting there telling my friends and arguing at my old workplace at the Museum of Flight, around Museum of Flight, and I'm arguing with everybody. Finally, I said, "Fuck it, I'm gonna go see this shit." So I know I'm not crazy. Sure enough, I get over here from England to fucking to France. It's under an hour hop. Bullshit, man. Going over here to here under this. There's no way that used to be much longer.
You know what's cool?
What's that?
Alaska Airlines and American Airlines are like joining forces here in Washington. So they're going to be starting direct flights from here to London.
Because they know everything as it's a fixed surface. Everything's a hop skip now. I found that out.
Everything's cheaper.
Why don't you say something again? What did you say? What was the name of the airlines?
Alaska Airlines and American Airlines.
Okay, because I used to be Alaskan. Used to be Alaskan with the N. When I worked there at the airport, it was Alaskan. Now it's Alaska. It's Alaskan. Yeah. But the fuel of the planes, now. There's hundreds of planes now. There was never this many fucking planes. I go to the airport, there are fucking planes up the yin yang. There's planes everywhere. Everything, the engines have changed. There's no fuel in them fuckers. It's just like they're flying everywhere, overcharging you. But again, yeah, I had to come over here to see it for myself. I'm all over France, seeing the fucking. I've never seen so many canal systems.
What I'm hoping is it's cheaper, so now I could fly to London more and visit because now it's more of a straight flight. You can spend more time instead of flying here to here to here to here. Now it's just like, bam, you're there.
Yeah. We can go over to the Vanich's house and hang out there and get into his refrigerator and drink all his fucking booze.
Barbecue it up, baby. Now, actually, hold on. I can't barbecue unless
call before you come so I can fill my fridge and clean my house, okay?
Now, for me to have a barbecue with you where you live, do they have tri-tip?
Well, you asking me?
I'm asking him.
Oh, asking him.
Tri-tip.
Tri-tip?
I guess not. Bob, is there tri-tip in Manchester?
You have to ask for them to cut it. They don't know what tri-tip is. It's a cut off the beef.
What the fuck is tri-tip, Eric? Just explain.
Tri-tip is the best part of the fucking cow. Okay. Sorry, my language. Sorry, guys. It's like a roast, but it's a softer meat. You put, it soaks in any flavor that you put in. It just cooks so beautifully. We grew up on tri-tip. It's the best part of the cow.
You lucky shit, you. I'm just making a stew because I got the worst parts.
Tri-tip is awesome with stew, steak potatoes. Tri-tip is the best meat you can get. I'm telling you right now.
I'm cooking stew right now. That's weird. I got stew. I'm cooking stew. I'm cooking
the stew at the moment.
I'm cooking stew at the moment. I'm cooking stew.
Check my potatoes and throw in some cabbage, and then it's all right.
You describe what I'm eating. I'm having potatoes, cabbage, meat. I've got all kinds of peppers, all kinds of weird shit. Because I was overslept today. I went for a long-ass walk yesterday. So I just do a crock pot. I just did a big old crock pot. A couple of fucking soup bones. Yeah, I'm going to have that.
Tells me that you don't live with a woman.
I live in a flat. So there's ladies here. Yes, they cook.
Yeah. It's all women there where he's at. He's only man there.
All women. Yeah, all women. Cheers, my friends.
Ribeye. I ain't trying tri-tip. Why would you not try tri-tip? Why would Mad Peeman not try tri-tip? I don't understand that.
That's the greatest cut of the beef.
Now, ribeye all the way. Now, ribeye is a fucking wonderful steak.
Ribeye is a great.
It's not a steak. A tri-tip is more of a roast. So don't get mixed with a ribeye steak and a tri-tip. It's more of a roast. But I will cut it up and make chunks, for stews, baked potatoes, because it's a softer meat and it cooks better frying it because you get that. We should open up a cooking channel.
Yeah.
I'll have to look that up. What that actually means in my language, because I cannot relate because I don't know the word, but probably I know the piece of meat.
No, you do. What was it? I think last year I flew to Denmark because my son went to school, a PCC school in Denmark. In the country, the country Denmark. So I went there, and one of the things that I love when I saw Denmark, it's probably all over London, probably all over UK. They had the meat stores that they age your meat beautifully. That's all the most beautiful meat. I mean, meat here. I'm not saying bad about our meat, but the meat there. When I was looking at the meat, I wanted to eat it raw. I'm like,
the beef over here. The beef in Europe, man. The beef in England. The beef in Denmark. The beef in all those areas, dude. It's not what we can comprehend in America. I'm over here and I'm like, guys, you have
the finest quality. Only the finest quality.
Yeah, you can't believe
you should look at our apples in the supermarket. They're all there's not a stain on it, nothing. But it's not like it's a good thing. I mean, it's not per se a good thing. Okay.
I was in Holland, dude. I rode a bicycle around Holland. I was riding a bike. I was riding a bicycle to a couple of castles I wanted to look at. So I was riding it. I got a video, man, of me in a castle in Holland. I'm like, riding
what was that
castle? You can get riding a bike, We are born on the bike as Dutchmen.
Yeah, man.
One of your videos, you were at a castle, I think, and you poured beer in it. What castle was that one?
I was storming that castle, yes. What was it?
What was the name of that castle?
What the fuck was the name of that castle? Give me a couple seconds. Oh.
He made a cool video that he does like these 2-minute videos, and I saw a castle, and you pour some of your beer on it.
Yeah, it was on. I got a bicycle. I was actually sleeping in a small trailer, like a wooden trailer.
Was that in Ireland?
Wheels, like on wheels. With a little bench in the front. I paid like $40 a night, and it was in a very, very high class, very wealthy area. But some guy owned a little plot by the water. He owned a little plot on the water. And so he rented out these little ass square cabins for like $40-50. And so I stayed there, and it was there during that heat wave last year, that massive heat wave. So everybody was dying. And I'm like, this is fucking chill, man. And I'm like, the water. And so I'm just riding my bike around all these rich fuckers, and they think I'm some sort of movie star with the beard and the hair. They think I'm a movie star. So I'm going to the high end, hanging out with people like Vonage here, but he doesn't look like he's in the high end class.
Vonage, where are you at in the UK? What part of the area are you at?
I'm not in UK. I'm in the Netherlands.
Netherlands.
I'm just in the middle, just where all the castles are. You know, I live next to the Queen, actually.
Oh, I was at the Mouse Castle.
Just because I'm a servant, okay?
Oh, yeah. But the Mouse Castle, that's the name of it. It's called the Mouse Castle. Do you know the Mouse Castle? The Mouse.
No.
Mouse Castle.
No.
Yeah, it's in Holland. It's a mouse called the Mouse Castle in Holland. It's big. Beautiful. It's even got a moat.
Does Disney own it?
It looks like something would be in Disney, man.
No, no Disney in Holland, man. Fuck off. No.
Anything that said the mouse on it, they own.
Well, it's a big ass mouse castle, but it's big as hell. I stole all kinds of vegetables. So I was there, and I'm a king. I told them I'm a king, man. I'm a fucking rightful king of England by fucking blood and by right. So I'm a king here. So they have this huge garden area, and you get to tour the garden. I put it on film. You get to tour this beautiful castle garden area. It's all part of the exhibit. So when I was in there, I paid money to go in there. So fuck it. So I had a side bag. I'm doing archaeology anyway. I had a side bag. So I was taking fucking vegetables from the garden. They didn't see it. So I'd walk around. I'd turn around. I'd grab me onions, look around, grab some potato. I was grabbing potatoes out of the ground. I filled my bag up. So when I got back to that little ass square ass cabin, they had like a little camp stove area you could cook outside. I made a big ass stew with all the stolen vegetables from the castle.
Omen es nomen, Robert.
I feel very honored, guys, because I just looked over the chat. Everybody's talking about aged meat and stuff. Everybody's talking about meat, so I know they're listening.
Well, remember I did that study. I saw that study about aged meat. That's one of the reasons. In fact, over in northern Europe, they're still fucking smart. They don't have cancer like the United States because they age their meat still. They age their fucking meat. They do their meat correctly. Their beef is done right. Their beef is all their meats are done correct. United States, they cut them, slop them into a fucking package right away. They don't age them. Boom, without the fucking stores that next day. Over there, they age their meat. They allow it to cure a little bit.
Everybody who knows something about meat should know that you should age. I mean, even people who tell me that they like their fish, like they eat their fish fresh out the river or out of the sea. I don't trust them because they don't know what it tastes like when you let it die for a day. You know, I didn't know. I'm not such a fish man, but once I caught some fish out of a river in Slovenia, and there was a guy with me, and I thought, well, he might know how to prepare this, right? And he said, "Oh yeah, I know this. Like you cut it open, like it was really tough fish. You had to push it again, you know. You do it like this, and you how do you say embellish it, and, like take out the organs."
We call it gut it. We gut it.
Gut it. That's you got it. And you throw in some salt and some pepper, and you lay it in the fridge, or no, not in the fridge, in the cooling, and for a day. And after that, you start to roast it. And it's just one day, man. And this fish starts to. When you eat it fresh, it really doesn't have any much taste to me. Not
true.
But when it dies, when you let it starve, I don't know the real idiom for this in English or American.
Yeah.
But that's the real, you get it, right? But that's the real taste. You just let it die for a day in cooling with salt and pepper in it, and it's perfect, man. I never ate such a.
How about the cheese over there? Are the cheese better than American cheese?
Hey man, we're cheeseheads.
Oh God!
If you think that cheddar is cheese, man,
cheese, man.
Cheese is cheese, man. You got a lot of learning to do, man.
Oh God!
I want to ask you guys something. Now, Bob's telling me in Manchester they don't really do like a real breakfast there, correct? You said?
Oh, they do breakfast.
They do
But they
breakfast.
don't do American
Oh,
breakfast.
no. I was thinking coffee. Like you're telling me at a certain time you can't get coffee if you want just a
Yeah,
regular coffee.
they do instant. They like instant here. They don't really brew it. They do it instant. It's faster. And breakfast.
No.
If you
Don't
want
drink coffee,
coffee
no.
in Europe, you don't go to France because they serve the worst coffee just all over the country. Okay,
I
you
know.
don't go to France. Don't buy any coffee in France. Okay,
I found that out.
and Italy is also. You might think Italy has good coffee. It might have in some places, but not all over the place. If you want to get the best coffee, and you can go anywhere, go to Slovenia. Slovenia. It's next to Italy. It's underneath Austria. Really, any place you go, perfect coffee.
I believe.
You can buy a coffee for €1 with a nice cake on the side and a glass of water. You know, fresh spring water because they like that. And you buy and when you taste the coffee, it's like wow, it's heaven. It's heaven.
Is Holland the cheese capital of the world?
Yeah.
We're the cheeseheads. Wij zijn de kaaskoppen, man. Kaaskoppen.
Yeah, they are.
And all I know, I'm hungry for cheese. I'm hungry for real aged meat.
Oh yeah.
And I'm going to stick with the coffee here. Sounds like there ain't a lot of great coffee over there.
Well, a lot of Americans are fucking. I feel bad, man. Now I was lucky enough to be in the Navy, and I was all over Asia, all over the Asian islands, whatever, all third world countries. But when I woke up in 2016 with the Mandela effect, I was at the peak of my job. I just got a promotion. I'm keeping the fucking lie going at the fucking Aerospace Museum, doing a fantastic thing. And then the chain of events where God made sure I left that place with all the whole story you guys already know about. And then I fought the fucking bank systems to win my house, and I won, but they took it away anyway, but I got paid for it. Took that money and just so happy that somebody from a European country said, hey, I watched your videos. You could come crash at our pad over here in England. I'm
That's
like,
cool.
that's fucking crazy. This redneck's going to pack up and move to fucking England. So I ended up going to England. And from England, and then we went from England to Paris to Holland to, Amsterdam and all over the fucking place. I'm like, my God, this is what Americans have no idea how beautiful it is over here. They have no fucking clue.
Now you do. So tell America.
I'm telling America how.
All of your guys, you came from here, right?
Yeah, originally, yes, we came from here.
Some people tell me like, oh, you Europeans, you don't know shit. And I think, what? Every white guy that lives in America has his grandparents coming from probably my country. You know, most of the people that live in the USA have Dutch ancestors or Irish ancestors. Those are the most, and of course also English, but most are Dutch and Irish and Italian. But most really, it's been a war between the languages, right? That was a voting. Should we speak Dutch or English from now on in the USA? That was a thing once upon a time.
Yeah. Well, I mean, the good thing about it, I found out most Americans don't know this, but
Really?
everybody speaks English overseas, or a little bit of English. A lot of these schools teach English, and if you learn just enough of a little bit of the local language and they know enough of English, you can meet halfway. It's doable for a regular schmuck like myself. I can get along no problem, and everybody's now. Again, we are in a different place. I have to remind us, like, we are still in this Mandela effect fucking whatever world we're in on the back of this freaking beautiful turtle. So we have that. However, being an American over here, I'm not bothered over here because I'm not from here. Back in the States, I'm irritated, man. I'm fucking irritated because I'm looking at stupid people that won't look up. Don't you see the fucking changes? Nobody sees the changes. I come over here, it's just like people doing their daily routines.
Nobody sees the changes. Nobody sees his flat. Nobody sees the changes.
Flat. No one sees anything. Nobody sees anything. It's easier for me to tolerate because I'm overseas. It doesn't bother me so much when I'm over here. When there's 1,000 chemtrails up and there's a guy out there with his gaiters on, boots, and he's feeding his sheep, man. And I'm just leaning over the fence, just watching him feed his sheep. It's okay. I don't feel bad. He ain't looking up, but at least it's not the States, man. I'm not mad. I'm not mad over here. It's just we're calm. And all these beautiful countries, I'm just living in here now. I'm living in the bubble. I'm enjoying the firmament. Because I remember I told you, Vanis, before, you and all the other flat earthers, I had a depression because when I realized that we were under a fucking weird ass thingy, I was depressed. I wanted to be an astronaut. I mean, there's no space, and that's depressing. And so to go out and see how beautiful life is still living within the firmament, it's just like, okay, I can live. I don't feel so depressed no more. Everybody's getting along in the firmament. There's no worry about space. I don't need
Let me ask you guys this flat Earth thing here. Okay, so we're living in a flat Earth. Why? Because of that, why can't you still have dreams of going way out in space? Does not exist? There's not another flat Earth planet like Earth out there?
No, there's not. But you can dream of outer space.
But why is it
going into
thought of this is the only thing out there? Just this flat Earth. I'm just asking. I know there's a lot of people in here not flat Earth. They're probably thinking the same way.
No,
but why is there another flat Earth out there?
I mean, it's not a silly question. It's a great question. Because when I think about it, about traveling there, I don't think about it like traveling to another Earth or to another place I could live the way I live here. I mean, why we think about traveling there is because we want to go up.
Yeah.
You want to think about going there, but it's not space. But still, you have the feeling to go there, and that's also why NASA was created.
Yeah,
because you still have this feeling you want to go up. You don't want to be dragged down. You don't want to be dragged down.
I can see what Bob's talking about.
Down is hell, and up is heaven. So of course you want to go.
But I can see what Bob's talking about. If there's not another flat Earth out there, there's nothing. I can see where that is depression.
Yeah, that's why
you as a kid, you always imagine that there's something more out there for you. Not thinking that more is here. You're thinking out there. Just like when you watch Star Wars for the first time and Luke looks over the mountain, he sees the two suns. He wants to go out there. Like one of my favorite movies as a kid, The Last Starfighter. Thinking that one day something's going to come down and take you, and you're going to save the whole galaxy. Knowing that you can never, that's never going to be true. I can see where you can be depressed.
Used to be that way. Now I'm not. That's why a lot of Americans will not give it up. They will not give up. That's why NASA's going to win. Well, they're not going to win in the end, but it's depressing. And I advise all of you Americans out there, don't be depressed, man. I was in a depression for a little. I wasn't like, no. I was like, I was in a shock.
Close to the actual thing, even. I mean, you told us you wanted to be an astronaut, and you were always close. You were always working with NASA.
Yes, I work with the uniforms.
You got over it, right? I mean,
I got over it, and so I realized that this is my home. This is going to be my home now. Having said that, my fantasies are still there, only in the fact that I know we can sometimes, in a hypothetical comic book way, still move through possible dimensions, through dimensions within the same space, within the same space. So it doesn't mean we're locked in. This means we're locked into a fixed service with multiple different spaces.
We're locked in these dimensions, but
dimensions, So that helps me out a little bit, knowing that you just ain't going to fucking Mars. There ain't no fucking Mars. So I ain't gonna go to a dirty ass fucking Mars and wear a big ass, huge underwater fucking suit. And shit in my diaper.
Mars was true. I mean, fuck, it's a boring fucking thing anyway. But just the thought that there's, you still wish. What if there is another flat Earth out there?
Well, there's dimensions within this space. You just ain't going to Mars. There's nothing to go to.
Yeah.
There's nothing, you got to get over it. Now, I was there with everybody in America. I was there, man. I worked next to these people. My CEO, my boss was an astronaut. So I worked with the astronaut. Then I realized this crazy bitch wasn't no astronaut. She's never been an astronaut. She's been part of a lie the whole time. And even her personal astronaut suit, I looked at the suit. I said, this thing can't hold a vacuum of fucking space. And I was in the military. And this is a lie. This is something you can get out of a costume store. So I knew she was a liar. And I realized the whole thing was a lie. All the artifacts I had, this is bullshit.
Imagine yourself being that woman, being that man, pretending to be an astronaut.
I know.
No, right? I mean, it's fucking horrible. I cannot even ask you to pretend to entertain the thought, because you immediately start to loathe when I even project the idea to you. I mean, that's awesome, actually.
Dude, I've been around astronauts, and they're sad on the inside. They're alcoholics. Oh, yeah. Buzz Aldrin come to the Museum of Flight a couple times. Yeah. Buzz is a drunk. Yeah, that motherfucker is a drunk.
Quite clear.
He is a drunk, and he is people. There's always inevitably somebody. If you ask him, "Did you really go to the moon?" You're fired. If anybody even comes up to me and looks suspicious to ask that, they filter you before you talk to him. That's how bad it got. Yeah. There were so many flat earthers and so many people, or people just knew it's bullshit. They had a filter who talks to him. He has to be isolated. He's being followed by the lie. He had to get plastic surgery. His face was so wrinkled from alcohol poisoning. The man could barely walk. He shakes when he sits there and shakes. He lives a lie. It's eating him from the inside.
It's so bad to persevere the lie that they would fix him up like any time,
Oh, it's so bad. These false prophets, I call them false prophets, astronauts, they're all living such a lie that you look at them in the face, they can't look at you in the face. When you ask them a question, their eyes shift to another spot and back. They look down and up. They had to practice lying so much in the mirror that they have to, almost to the point where they believe it, and it's false, and everyone's like, this guy's a fucking liar.
They believe it. And they know it's not true, but therefore they believe it.
They have to practice it.
On the radio yesterday, they were talking about NASA, because they're talking about going. They're saying they're going to go back to the moon in 2020. And they're going to get over 50,000 applications. And now, because there's so many people want to go to the moon, right? You got to have a master's degree. And I'm like, so if you want people to really believe it, send me up there.
Well, number one, the criteria was always a master's degree. Number two is they're going to ask you, here's the question they're going to ask you. Now, I'm being serious, guys. They're going to say this question. They're going to say it in quiet. They're going to say, where were you born? There's a question only certain people know about. Where were you born? And then you're going to say, I'm born in Lodge. I'm born in Lodge, number. Okay. So this is your Lodge. Okay. And so they contact the Lodge, your brothers, your frat mates, whatever, at the Lodge.
Like the Mason Lodge.
Yeah.
Right?
It's Freemasonry. So they're all, I mean, I know from 100% where I work place, I was also with the Freemasonries. They are Freemasons, number one and foremost. They're looking for Jesuits, obviously, but Freemasons. And then once from there, then they indoctrinate you into what they consider the next steps of the Cabal studies, you might want to say. So now you're going past a 3rd-degree Mason. You're going to be moving into the 33-degree Masons, where you're going to get the secrets of the universe. So astronauts are now getting the mathematical secrets of the universe, the whatevers. They're not going into space, but they're going to learn we would call it the Cabal of the universe. And they're going to get all the information, and they're going to go through the motions of being an astronaut. However, they're getting the secrets, the mathematical secrets of what we would call, Vaughn's would say, the flat Earth. So they're going to be taught about the flat Earth. That's their secret studies. So all of these astronauts know that it's flat. They're getting the flat Earth information. Here it is. They're going from round Earth and with an application to go to space to be indoctrinated into a into a geocentric mindset.
I mean, I've tried to imagine this cult shock for these astronauts, as you are just now explaining, right?
Yeah.
Like these guys, like Neil Armstrong and Buzz Aldrin, they really thought, they really believed, they really knew they were going there, and you can see by their faces they got fucked. You know, when they're sitting there with the two of them, like, wow, we got fucked big time, and now we have to pretend we're not fucking actors, we're fucking physicians. We've got an IQ of 145 or whatever, and you want us to tell a lie to live, to let my woman live, to let my children live. What the fuck are you asking of me? I'm fucking. I mean, that's what you read on their faces. It's so.
Thank you for saying that. Thank you for saying that. In the defense, I worked with these people, and in the defense of these astronauts who did not know, these are fighter pilots. These are people who become with a gun school. They're the best of the best, and they qualified. They put a TADA slip in. They qualified to go to NASA. They can't wait to go to space. They've watched the ISS since they were kids. These are fucking excited people. Then they go in there because they're part of the guild. That's how they got picked anyway.
Absolutely not stupid. They're fucking smart.
But they go in there and they give them the book. I call it the book. They say, here's the secrets of the universe. You're going to space. And they open the book and they go, oh that's not what I thought it was.
Oh, there's only.
Can I tell you guys my problem with NASA? Mine's more simpler.
Yeah.
This is more simpler. Every time they show footage of astronauts in space, right? They got to repair whatever they're repairing.
Yeah.
Now we all work on stuff, right? We're all mechanics. We build stuff, right? Now, and you know, when you work with electricity, what do you wear? You wear gloves, right?
Yeah.
Now, when you have gloves on, it's fucking difficult to work on things because you can't feel it. But I'm thinking simple wise. But when you look at astronauts, they're wearing these thick ass fucking gloves and they're working on micro things. Now, if I have problems and I'm more of a mechanic than those fuckers are because they're bookworms.
Super good point.
If I have problems with thinner gloves, how the fuck can they really build stuff, repair stuff with these thick ass, and then they're wearing these things that you really can't see how good. So how do everything so well like a surgeon? Like a surgeon wears thin gloves.
Why did they even have to repair anything on the outside when there was no damage reported?
Yeah.
I know my thing's more simpler, more smaller thinking, but how do you work on that stuff with thick ass gloves?
No way. Not even in space. No.
Because they don't. That's why they don't. I've got the tools, guys. I've had the tools in my hand. I put the tools in the case. It puts the lotion in the bucket. I put the tools in the case. I displayed them out, and I'm like, you can't handle these tools with these gloves. Now I've handled the gloves. You put the gloves on, you're playing around. You can't handle these tools with these gloves.
Well, I know. And here's another one. Now, in theory, you're on a space shuttle, right? You're flying it back to Earth. And they have to pick a square, basically, where it's the lightest part of the atmosphere where they're allowed to actually go through.
Yeah, supposedly. Yeah.
How is that even possible? How is a certain section that goes here that the only time they can fly in to go? I know
exactly what you're saying because I've studied this and I've studied like the.
What I'm talking about, right? Yeah. The
Van Allen belt, right? You have to go through the Van Allen belt.
Yes.
And if you read the Van Allen belt where it is and where it should be, there should be no Van Allen belt above the North Pole. So, right, the only place you can eject yourself into this imaginary space thing would be somewhere around the North Pole, because that's where there's no Van Allen belt. But they never. They don't launch their rockets from the North Pole. Well, when in theory, the only place you could launch a rocket would be from the North Pole or somewhere near the North Pole because there's no Van Allen belt there. And the Van Allen belt is there because they thought of gravity. And the only thing that gravity means is seriousness. So gravity. I mean, gravity means seriousness. So just laugh at these people because that's the only medicine. Just laugh at them.
Yeah.
When you watch those videos, it looks like the whole space shuttle is on fire, right? It looks like it's all on fire. Wouldn't you cook inside?
Well, no, I've theoretically, I've handled the actual plates. There's these whatever is real or not. The plates are mostly made like an asbestos composite. It's a thick ass, feels like a thick piece of plastic that's fire retarded like crazy, and it's supposed to take the heat coming in. Basically, like asbestos. Yeah, bricks, blocks, and they're really tucked in real tight. I know about the whole thing. I handled the samples, and so once it hits that certain area in the atmosphere and it comes in and catches fire, all the heat glows underneath the fucking nose and everything underneath the shuttle. Then it basically drops like a brick with wings, and once it gets past that area, it cools down, and then they hit basically they're dropping like a brick, and then they're drop gliding. Then they take it in. They got one little fucking, one little fucking like a video game handle.
When they land in the ocean, there's no boiling ocean.
There's no boiling ocean. No, I've seen them. We've got them. And I looked at the bottom. I've looked at the bottom, and we have the Soyuz capsule, and I worked on the Soyuz capsule. Yeah. So you look at the bottom of the Soyuz capsule, and I had to clean underneath because I had all the dirt from Russia, and it's a thin ass layer of asbestos, like a thin ass layer of asbestos. And no fucking way if what they say was true because that thin ass layer would have been gone and be down to bare metal, would have melted if it's true what they said. What they did was most likely they had the asbestos bottom floor lining of it, and then someone took a blowtorch to it and they blowtorched it.
But you know what? Asbestos, it was like in those days, it was just like the new thing, Oh
yeah.
Like nobody ever heard about it. And so it was the next best thing to address because nobody knew about it. So that's why they used it. And that's also why they used it for, you could get sick of asbestos. I know people that just, they installed like thousands of asbestos roofs. Yeah. And they did it just with their bare hands and with their reciprocating saws, just in midair without any caps on their mouth. And they're still alive. They're still alive,
You have no idea. You have no idea. Eric, remember fucking Pinocha Pack? You remember up in A-Zone? Remember we went camping up at the coast? Remember the asbestos mines? It was asbestos. Eric and I, we were kids. We were raised hunting in the asbestos mines. As kids, we're talking. It looked like snow. You go to my dad would camp in the same area, and it was this big, huge dugout in the ground. Looked like snow, white plastic rock dirt. Campfire. And you go to sleep on the open, and you got the asbestos. We don't fucking know. We're kids. We're sleeping with asbestos dust everywhere. We went hunting. All the asbestos were covered in asbestos. Years, all the way up past our teenage years until the point we went to the military. I had no idea that asbestos is anything. I don't have cancer. Eric don't have cancer.
But Rob, you must not mistake it. It has an incubation period, 20 years. And you're way beyond that, right?
Way beyond that.
Yeah, but so come on, it's just in your beard. You've got an asbestos beard, okay?
I used to always ask, why are we camping? Why are we hunting here? This is where the best deer is.
This is where the best deer is. And we didn't know as a kid because it's flaky. It's like plastic ground dirt. It's flaky. You play with it. We fucking build it like a little snowman out of fucking asbestos. We had no concept of it being bad. My dad didn't even know it caused cancer. He didn't know. Everybody hunted that. It's a private area to hunt. Plus, around the asbestos mines, they made it illegal to go to certain areas because around asbestos areas, they also had jewels. They had natural jewels everywhere. Like fucking jewel. There was jewel mines, like little jewel mines everywhere. But the government had to close it all out. In fact, they stopped letting people go back in the asbestos mines. We broke in there. We went there illegally anyway. But there was tools and all kinds of shit. I didn't love the asbestos.
I was trying to find, because I have a picture of us in A zone with the Bronco wearing like a white T-shirt. It was right before the truck broke down. We had to coast all the way down the hill.
Oh, the asbestos mines, yeah.
Yeah.
The asbestos mines.
Yeah, I gotta find that picture. I'll find it next time. It's a funny picture.
It's funny he brought up asbestos. I'm like, oh my God, you guys have no idea. But we were raised around asbestos, like breathing it in, dust in our face, hunting fucking way to pick up asbestos dust, covered in it like all the time.
And they made such a big thing out of it, right? It's
but they're probably right. I'm not saying they're wrong. I'm not saying they're wrong. I just say that thank God so far I haven't gotten cancer. Eric hasn't gotten cancer. I didn't even know about it.
But I believe you when you say that. I believe when you say that you've been in a mine and you can describe it like that, right? I believe you. And I also believe the guy who I spoke with who has installed so many asbestos roofs. And he like sawing it, like just in open air without any caps on his mouth.
Yeah.
He survived and he didn't get cancer.
You ever watch those movies where you're not supposed to be swimming in this area? You know, get out signs.
Yes.
We're always in those places, and
it says do not swim because all the natural. Well, because it's volcanic. Remember, it's technically that's where the asbestos came. All those certain minerals and stuff because it's volcanic. So all the water had the gas on it, all that fucking poisonous gas. And they say do not drink.
Fucking attractive if you tell it to me like that. Like it looks like a lake with steam coming out of it, right?
Yeah, steam coming out of it.
I want to see that.
It's yellow.
See, we grew up with no mom, so there was nobody to say, "Don't put those boys in there."
Yeah. You'd have the flowing water, and the bottom of the stream across the rocks had like a yellow skim to it, like a yellow weird skim to it. And then the top part was kind of boiling, and we jump in. Oh, this is fucking warm, Dad. This is easy. It's got the gas coming out of it. There's a big sign: "Do not swim, do not drink." But I was like, "Oh, we better not be on this one. We'll go to the other one." We went to another lake, and it's like we'd be swimming for a while, and he'd be hunting around in the corner. He goes, "Oh shit!" Another sign covered up by bushes: "Do not swim. Poisonous water. Boys, get out of the water. You might die in there. Get out of the water." It says poisonous water again.
It wasn't like, get out. It was, come on, you might want to get out.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Shit, we're
going to die either way. That's staying here longer.
So, yeah, that's fun life. But back to the flat earth. I mean, that's part of the beautiful earth, though. I mean, at least we got to experience all the parts of the beautiful fucking earth.
Well, what about, I don't know why I just thought about this for the first time. So because I've been studying, this morning we were both, Voynich was there too on the Flat Earth channel, lifting the lid. And so what about meteorites then? Are meteorites real or are they fake stories about coming?
No, what is that? That's what I want to know. What is that?
Is there like craters, craters on Earth where an impact happened? You see video footages of things flying, hitting the ground.
Craters on Earth are never meteorites, because if craters on Earth are meteorites and craters on the moon are meteorites, they all come like perpendicular to the mass center, right? So it cannot happen. So it cannot be true. All the impacts from meteorites look like bubbles from beneath. They look like a cake. Have you ever baked a cake? Have you ever baked an egg?
Yeah.
It looks like a bubble that exploded and is not a bubble anymore. And so that's why there's a circle. It looks like that. It doesn't look like something impacted.
Joey Roca is in the chat. I know he's really big in the flat earth.
Joey Roca!
Hey, Joey, can you explain to us a little bit in the comments about meteorites? What are they?
Joey Roca should speak to us about volcanoes because he lives in Hawaii. He shouldn't speak to us about So, but Joey Rocha thinks that that volcanoes are a hoax, but he lives in Hawaii, so I don't know how that works out.
I don't think they're. I still think they're still working mechanics. I mean, the reason why I think that there's magma is because it would add to the theory that the Bible was correct about there's a water above the firmament and below the earth, because that would make sense because that water is what would make the magma molten. Believe it, water wouldn't do it. Yes, it would. The actual H2O would actually make sense why there's molten magma. There's not nickel down there with a hot ass circle surface. No, it makes more sense, more than nickel to me as a scientist. H2O would make it more viscous. I was like, that makes more sense than fucking an iron ball. It would make way more sense to have.
Could it be energy?
Water. Water would definitely cause magma to be viscous. Definitely 100%. So it could be viscous on water. Magma could be sitting on water. Absolutely. That's what would create its viscosity. It makes sense to have that. So it makes the tectonic processes make sense to me. Now I'm trying to figure out the fucking firmament part as a scientist. I'm thinking maybe something down here is circulating. I know it's a plane, but however, it still has a bulbous top. Something down here is going up to the top. So basically, what's below, it's making its way to the top and then coming back down. Now that's in my own head. Now don't take this to the bank.
No, that's why we're just talking. We're just throwing it out there.
Theory. This is my theory that whatever tectonic processes that we have that are natural below, which makes sense, whatever's here is somehow making its way up to the top, and that's what's constituting the meteorites. Because I've held meteorites at the Museum of Flight. Obviously, they're not.
Somebody wrote energy. It could be energy.
But they were molten. I could see where it was high molten metal, which means it probably came from down below. So it was up there coming in that way, but it's down below. Now, here's my theory. Here's why I think that. Because here's a Mandela effect, just to add to the fucking pile. When I woke up, I found out there's more carbon meteorites on the Earth than ever. Now, in my time, in my old memory, there were no carbon meteorites. They're very rare. They're almost non-existent. They're a myth. Carbon meteorites are a myth. You'd find them in fucking Antarctica. They have one carbon meteorite, and everybody's having a fucking field day with a party. Oh my God, it's like gold. There were no carbon meteorites. But in this place, they reported carbon meteorites everywhere. Carbon meteorites? And I wanted to be a geologist. I'm like, and nobody's having a fucking party with this? Carbon meteorites and nobody gives a shit? It's huge. So something's down below the carbon from the whatever land surfaces we have, melts its way down below. So you have, like with oil is basically carbon going down. And if it gets to a point where it goes through, and it goes back up, around, goes back down, and you have carbon meteorites. I'm trying to make sense of it. It's only a theory. So throw it away. Tear it up. Put it in the trash. But whatever. I'm trying to figure out I think they're coming from below. What's below is making its way up to the top layer of the firmament area within the water. Because if you have water below, you can still have circulation up above. Yeah. And can still pierce its way through the firmament gel, whatever it is.
I can get into your theory, because if it's waters below and it's waters above, it can generate these oils or any material inside these waters.
Yes.
And if it goes above us, it can be ice, right?
Yes.
Because I think above us is ice, but not the ice like we know, but like ice on another level.
That's what I'm thinking.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
But then again,
it's so hot. Because it's so hot, it burns its way through. It's burning its way through, and it's making its way through.
But then again, if you think meteorites work like that, Rob, how come it's just a theory that you made, but do you also have an explanation for how come there's like annual meteorite showers, Because when you look at a certain part of the sky in a certain time of the year, there will be falling stars, and those are meteorites, right? And we have sorts of names for that, like the Leonides or the Sagittarianides or whatever it is, and they're always related to a zodiac sign. Do you have any ideas on that?
The good ones. Please remember the whole geocentric science thing for me is still new, and I'm having fun with it. So that's a new one for me to play with. I've just figured out with you here playing around how it's possible to have meteorites. Now, the predictability of them.
Yeah.
In fact, let's talk about that. Asteroid P239 is going to hit Saturday 15th. Is today the 15th?
Yeah.
Okay, so Saturday the 15th, it's a okay, get this. It's a 5.8. Here we go, guys. 5.8 million kilometer, whatever, from the Earth. Right? It's going to hit the Earth. It passed by last time in 1979. But it's a 5.8 whatever meteor. 5.8 is 13, by the way. 5.8 is 13. So at 13 is coming. But this predicted meteor is supposed to fly by Earth. Now, here's that meteor we're talking about with all the the asteroid. Again, it's P239, Saturday the 15th of February, 5.8 million kilometers from the Earth. It's supposed to pass. Last time it passed by was in 1979. It's supposed to come. So how the hell has this asteroid been predicted?
Well, it looks like Joey Roca might be joining us because he knows a lot about this stuff.
Oh, good. He could add it to their mind is predicted. So how is this thing predicted? Good question. Is it that you have a telescope, okay, and the telescope does see things up there? They're not stars. But is it possible they can see things piercing through? See things in advance coming through, and then doing a guesstimation with math how long it's going to take to burn through the ice to make it clear.
Yeah, I think that's very plausible, Robert.
I'm just doing possibilities.
If we look at these, we've all seen these videos of these appearances in the sky, of which they say, yeah, that was another SpaceX launch that was not announced. I mean, you know. Yeah,
not allowed. Yeah,
so they're going to make a SpaceX launch or a NASA launch with such a fucking effect in the sky, and they didn't announce it. I mean, that's so fucking weird. How do these spirals in the sky, or how do they? I mean, it doesn't look like anything I ever seen in ice or in water, but they exist. And nobody can explain them. And the only reason they will take to explain is, yeah, that was a failed rocket that was launched by SpaceX or by NASA. Yeah. Oh, okay, that explains everything, because these people know everything about space and about Earth, and they just did another failed mission. It just makes sense. That's it.
I still think they know about interdimensional travel, maybe. They know interdimensional travel, and that's a hypothetical itself, but there ain't no space.
Do you think that these spirals in the sky, or on the firmament, do you think that there is something interdimensional? I don't think
they're interdimensional. I think they're interdimensional. I know they're interdimensional.
Why do you think this?
Well, I think because I have a theory.
Why do you think this?
Because you could time there's not time travel, but you could pierce the fabric. You could theoretically, I know you can pierce the fabric. I just know you can't. You could pierce it using technology to do it. Now, if we could conceive it now, if I could conceive it now, that means somewhere down the line, somebody's done it. Yeah. You know what I mean? Someone's done it. If you could conceive it now, somebody's done it. Guarantee you someone's done it, because I saw the technology, I could see the concept, and it's plausible. When I say it's just in the world of science, I'm not saying, I'm saying it's plausible, which means it could do it. I mean, it means they can't do it, but it's plausible.
It's not necessarily possible, but it's plausible.
Plausible, yeah. So it means if it's plausible here, that means it's possible somewhere else another time. And much in the future, if you believe in time, in the future, somebody pierced it through and came back. Now, I throw stupid theories about like the gray. Everyone's, what's the gray? To me, when I see a gray, and I had a at work, at my old workplace, there was a scientist. He was a anthropologist scientist. We're talking about what the concept of a gray is. It's an underdeveloped fucking fetus that came to life. There's no genitalia. It never had any hormones kicked in, so it's an underdeveloped fetus with a big ass head. It's alive. That can actually manage like a living fucking drone on a ship. That ship, if it's powered correctly, can go through time. And they're like little worker bees. They can pick you up, fix you up, do whatever they want to you, take your DNA and go back. Like a nice little, like I call them like bees. Like bees. Like you and I could be abductees. He could be an abductee. He's an abductee. Volunteer abductee. We're all abductees. Could have been possibly.
Joey Rocha is an abductee.
So, Joey,
aloha, everybody.
Make it simple for us. What are meteorites?
Here we go.
It's a good question. So meteorites, no, it is. I think I have the answer for it, and I think I have science to prove it and back it up. But that's a really good question because, as you guys are saying, not only do we experience these things called meteorites and called shooting stars, right? That's just names that we call these objects, right? Yeah. Not only do we witness them, but they have cyclical events. That means we can predict them. We know when they're going to occur, right? And we know that we're living in a geocentric Earth. So, in short, here's the reason why I believe we have meteorites, and the reason why I believe that they're predictable. I believe that we are encapsulated. I believe that there's proof that we're encapsulated by some type of glass dome. I believe that it's some type of glass dome made from lava. Okay, so follow that.
Okay.
So if the dome is made out of lava, out of blue, and lava when it's cooled rapidly at the Antarctic Circle, imagine this is a circle of the flat Earth. Yeah. Along the rims is the ice ring, cold water, and you have lava flowing underneath the Earth in the form of lava tubes. Well, anyways, that's what gave it the ability to form this big blue glass dome. That's why the sky is blue, even though air is clear. That's why water is blue, even though air is clear, et cetera, et cetera. Well, anyways, here's what they are. I had to explain that first. The dome, according to all the ancients and everything that I've been able to see, is made out of blue glass, and the stars are actually attached to it. And it does one complete 360-degree circle per day. So it's not just one solid object. It's continually renewing itself with more lava flow. But here's where the shooting stars and meteorites come in part.
You're going too fast, Joey, but I hear you. But you're really going.
Sorry, guys. Sorry, guys.
I've
said this thousands of times, so it's hard for me to, but I'll slow it down. Thank you, Voynich. By the way, I'm a huge fan of everybody on here, and Voynich is one guy that I really, really like a whole lot because he's just a stud. But I'm so proud of all of us, what we're doing. Gypsy Road, you're the man, brother. My name is Rob. I salute you, brother. But I'll slow it down a little bit, okay? And I don't want to hog the show, but this is something I feel I'm an expert on because I worked on this project.
Why we're doing this?
Yeah, I worked on this project with Robert Pisano, Eric Dollard, John the physicist, Robert Shortman, who's actually been to Antarctica, tracked the sun and moon groups. Cool. I was a geek in this for about a year and a half. I was working on this project. So here's the conclusion that we came to.
Cool.
So the dome is made out of blue glass. Okay. Yeah. Anybody who doubts that there's a dome doesn't know the science of lightning. Lightning strikes up, not down. Science, traditional science says that too, but they also say that it just explodes up into the atmosphere into nothingness. That's what we hear, the delayed war. Well, that's impossible. The only way to get lightning to explode is like when you rub your feet on the carpet and you touch the doorknob. Has to come into contact with something solid. Okay, so there's a dome above our head. It's made out of blue glass. Here's where shooting stars and meteorites come in part. The dome is
Joey.
Yes.
Just take a breath. So the people who are not like you and not like Rob and not like Eric can digest this. Okay, but
I am digesting it. I think
digesting it. Yeah, but still, it's perfect. Okay, so please.
He's excited. I'm excited.
Yeah, I'm super excited.
Here's the exciting part. Here's the actual exciting part. So meteorites and shooting stars. Now that we know that the dome is continuously renewing itself like our skin, and it's shedding itself in the form of what we call shooting stars and meteorites, and it's doing this 101 complete 360-degree rotation per day like a perfect timepiece. Well, now here's what are shooting stars and what are meteorites and how can we predict them? Well, here's what I believe the answer is, and I think we have proof of it abundant here on Earth. It's a form of what we call perlite. Perlite, what you have in your fertilizer, you know, everything. Well, anyways, long story short, it's abundant here on Earth. That means that we'll never run out of it. Each country on Earth has like 25 million tons storehouse of it. We use it for everything. But if you look into it, it's non-renewable. We can't make it. What does make perlite? The only thing that makes perlite is the byproduct of obsidian. That's the only way. It's not, you can't artificially make it. So here's the thing. When we mine perlite here on Earth and we find it just a few feet deep in the ground, it's very light and charcoaly. When we mine it, it's normally gray. But what we do before we give it to the customer is they put it in a furnace, they heat it up 800 degrees Fahrenheit, and it turns bright white. It expands 15 to 25 times its normal size. It leaves a long white tail behind it. They call it the shooting star effect.
That's the perlite. That's the perlite I know, like the very fluffy stone. The very too fluffy to be a stone. Yeah,
exactly. Yeah. And it's the byproduct of obsidian. So obsidian, when air is next to obsidian, it leaches out the molecules in it and it turns into what we can call a scab, if you will. It's called perlite. So
Joey, can you please explain to us what obsidian is?
Obsidian is the byproduct of lava, which is magma, coming into contact with ice cold water. Lava, when it comes into contact with air, makes a rock. Lava, when it comes into contact with water at warm temperatures, makes different substances. It just depends. It's basically made of silicon and oxygen, and it's the real building blocks of Earth. Everything it comes into contact with, it makes differing things.
Makes a great weapon.
For that explanation, man. That really,
it's a great weapon. You can shave with it. You can shave with it.
Yeah.
Yeah, you know, it's the sharpest blade on Earth.
Yeah, I know. It's the sharpest blade on the planet.
And it actually contains a rainbow within it. It actually contains a rainbow within it.
Very good.
And it's dielectric. So the electricity that's going shot upwards that gives that reverberation of thunder is actually charging the dielectric dome, causing the potential of what I believe is sonoluminescence of the stars, giving it that dielectric energy, like a Tesla coil. You know, like how a Tesla coil works.
Yeah.
Can I ask you, Joy, how many years have you been in the flat Earth community?
For 5 years.
5 years?
I'm not a veteran of the truth community. I kind of woke up to 9/11 a while ago, but I was a coward about it because I presented it to people and they were telling me I was unpatriotic and they tried to beat me up. You know what I mean? So I was just like,
never say you're a coward. Because,
no, I was. It's okay. I admit it.
Well, Bob and I were in the military, so it is kind of hard to talk about 9/11 because we were part, of the military. Let me ask you this question.
Oh,
we talked about this earlier.
Lovely girl. Hello.
Could you tell everybody the Earth is flat?
The Earth is flat.
I never went to the moon.
That went to the moon.
Give me kisses. All right.
Since you've been in the community 5 years, we talked about this earlier. Is it a belief that we are the only life on flat Earth? There's not another flat Earth out there, like another life place out there. We're the only one in the whole galaxy that has life.
Yeah, let me answer that, and then let me finish with the perlite too, though. But let me answer you first, though. Amongst the common belief, Voynich can vouch for me because he's a veteran in the flat Earth community. It's differing. It's differing, and we're all okay with that. But I like to go according to what the ancient ancestors said. And the ancient ancestors and the Bible and the Quran, everybody, they all said that it's basically some type of disc, if you will, on top of another disc, on top of another disc, and there was some above and some below. Yeah, that's what I tend to believe. As crazy as it sounds, it's all crazy. No matter what you believe, it's all crazy.
So if one disc is destroyed, and we don't, I'm doing a hypothetical. It's not even relevant to you say. If I'm just saying, because in 2016 something happened to me, I woke up and everything was just, I woke up here. So I'm not in the same fucking place. So if one disc was destroyed and we don't die, inevitably we don't die. We're spiritual longevity, whatever happens. Waking up into the next bubble, I would call it. Like you just shifted. I call it the shift. I shifted to one bubble. Like you said, here's the old. I like the ancient ideas, by the way. Yeah. So I'm your theory. So archaeology. So one bubble's been destroyed, and it can happen. I believe it. But then the next one below, which is almost identical but not quite, you pop into that one, and then okay. I'm just trying to make. Remember, I just started massaging the flat Earth.
Don't worry about it, brother. It's just like this. I'm new into the Mandela effect. I only learned about it just like a few months ago. And just like every truth, you're like, I don't know. What does it matter? Yeah. Blah, blah, blah. And then JFK only 6 people instead of 4. And I investigated the JFK thing, so I'm like, wait a minute. Plus, I'm a Bible guy, so I'm like, what? You know, there's couches in the Bible hung on a tree. Come on, man.
Yeah, there you go. See, I'm having to go back to the old artifacts. Now I'm gonna show this artifact, which I keep showing you, and I want you to see this. This is an early Israelite, one of the lost tribes of Israel. Israelite.
My name is Rob. Can you do me a favor? Yeah, show me. Let me see.
So here is the firmament.
Yes, exactly.
This is one of the early Israelites in the States or in the Americas. Mm-hmm. And then it kind of describes what you're talking about.
Yeah. Well, it makes perfect sense. You can't have an atmosphere without an enclosed system.
Yeah.
You can't get a rainbow indoors without the use of a prism, yet outdoors you just turn on your sprinkler and you get a rainbow. There's, I can keep on going for days and days, but it's an impossibility. Yeah. There must be
thousands of years old. This is thousands of years old and found in the state. Of course, it was debunked. This is a debunking book, but now it ain't debunked. I'm not debunking it anymore. So it kind of goes over what you're talking about.
May I ask?
I don't think that actually one of the bubbles could pop, and here's why. According to further research, I'll finish about shooting stars and meteorites, but within that theory, the sun itself is preventing anything. It's kind of like creating an invisible force field, if you will, because the sun itself, they call it the heliocentric theory. It's not a burning ball of flames, obviously, because we don't get a tan standing next to a bonfire. We get a tan going into an artificial light, a tanning salon. So it's some type of light. And Eric Dollard discovered it's a solid object. It's empty, and it's using some type of nuclear cold fusion to convert 4 hydrogens into 1 helium. So because of the high altitude, it gets cold. The higher the altitude you go, it turns into something called superfluid helium. And superfluid helium acts as a liquid solid. It's responsible for rain on Earth, our atmosphere on Earth, creating oxygen. But also during Operation Fishbowl, or those rocket launches, those amateur rocket launches where you see a rocket being shot up and then it just kind of goes dink. It doesn't explode into something. Well, at 80 miles high, superfluid helium created by the sun, converting via nuclear cold fusion. That's why there's radiation in our skin. Via nuclear cold fusion is actually creating that thing. So imagine an invisible force field, if you will. When you try and shoot rockets up, the only way that they could work hypothetically is if they were shot up and they had like a torch in front of them. But still, that stuff is circling, which gets me back to the shooting stars and meteorites. So the superfluid helium that's doing the circular orbit with the dome is actually stable indefinitely. Superfluid helium, if you put it in a coffee cup and you give it a spin, you come back 1,000,000 years later, it'll still be spinning.
Oh.
And the same reason that we have cyclical meteorites and shooting stars is the same reason that we have cyclical hurricanes and tornadoes. It's the same thing, just in a different form, okay? It's just spitting out or spitting up. So superfluid helium spinning around this blue glass dome actually creates itself to be stable indefinitely. And how it does that is by cyclically, as it comes into imperfect edges along its course, its trajectory, it spits off into the center vortex these cyclical things that look like tornadoes or hurricanes. They come in and then they dissipate back out, just like we experience them here on Earth, and then they melt, they don't melt, they merge back in with the remainder that's already flowing at an average speed. So it never interrupts itself, staying stable indefinitely. So that's why we get the cyclical shooting stars, because the shooting stars are doing the same thing, doing the same cycle. And the shooting stars that we call shooting stars, which are perlite, as they fall down, they gain temperature via speed. That's why you only see them light up about halfway down. That's when they gain their temperature speed, and that's what we have. So I believe we have abundant proof on Earth, and I think that that makes the most sense out of everything. But, you know, in the flat Earth community, we all have differing ideas, and we're all okay with it. But I think that this is agreed upon by a lot of people, and it makes a lot of sense.
May I ask you a stupid question?
Yeah, sure.
I'm sure everybody has asked this question.
You're the man, and this is your show.
Listen,
I'm honored to be on here.
I want to learn everything. Now, if the Earth is flat, can you actually drill through?
No, because just like the dome is made out of blue glass, a glass that's impenetrable, likewise, this stuff called basalt is underneath us. The further we dig, I think Serbia or somewhere over there, the diggest hole they ever dug was maybe 9 miles deep. Why? Because they couldn't penetrate any further. That's why. We actually just can't. Nothing here on Earth can break through it. So you can't go down. You can't go up. We're here, and this is our chance to. We have actually, if you think about it, and you clear your mind, if all this corruptness was gone, we have paradise here on earth. Yeah. We just have to convince our fellow brothers and sisters that the governments of the world are lying to us, because they're using our fellow brothers and sisters against us as policemen, as judges, as soldiers. You know what I mean? We just got to wake the world up.
Well, I'm coming up with a theory about that. I had a dream the other day. I told Eric about it. I talked about it. God gave me a fun-ass dream, and then all kinds of weird synchronicities go with it, because I kind of figured out what's going on. I'm just saying, like everybody else, I have a really good theory that's about the lost tribes, about lost tribes waking up at the moment. The lost tribes of Israel, the Israelites, lost tribes waking up at the moment. And I'm seeing tribes.
Before you start about the lost tribes, Rob, I tell you that Joey surprised me so much, because he comes on to us like a cheerleader, like nothing, like nothing scientific that he just gave us. I mean, it's really such a big surprise. I didn't think he was like just a cheerleader, but man,
that's pretty good.
That was awesome. I like it.
You're the fucking hero of Flat Earth. Come on, man.
Nice, man. That's nice, because we got to go that direction. Yeah.
Yeah, man.
Eric did a thing with a lady that was she was a paranormal researcher. She had that reading. Remember that box, Eric? She did a little box on there.
Oh yeah.
He asked if the Earth was
the witch goddess.
No, I'm not saying it was, but he asked if the Earth was flat, if the flat or round, and I heard it say fixed.
It said the word fixed. Yeah,
it said fixed, and I go, it said fixed. You know, fixed is an in between word. It doesn't hurt anybody. And I've been using it ever since. I know. Maybe I'm going to debunk it. Whatever. We just heard it, but we all heard the word fixed.
Yeah, I don't know if you watched that episode or not, Joey. I don't know if you watched it or not, but it's one of our episodes. It's called "We Had the Witch Goddess as a guest." Yeah. No, she's in the paranormal side, and she had an app that you're supposed to talk to it, and the spirits will give us an answer. And so I asked it, "Is the Earth round?" And it said fixed.
Like, oh. Did it just
there you go? There you go.
It's an easy answer.
There you go.
It's a comfort. I call it. It's a comfort. Are you flat earther? No, I'm not. Fuck that, man. I just know it's fixed.
Hey, but
it gets so smooth.
I think the Earth is fixed and it's smooth and flat.
But because it's not even flat. That's just the name we call it. Just like the Mandela effect, the name we. And people get stuck on it. What are you going to call it? I don't know. They're going to argue about it.
I think the dome or the rakia,
I say geocentric,
the structure above us, I think that might be a globe, right? I mean, it acts.
Yeah, sure it could be. But then we're living inside of something like that. But it's in our enclosure, because it is moving. It is actually moving. That's the crazy thing about it. It's moving. We have proof of this because planets have retrograde motions. They're not attached to the dome. The rotation experiments that Bob discovered, in his famous supposed failure documentary, that was actually measurement of something moving 15 degrees, which is 360 degrees in one complete day. If you measure it with the sex,
of course you're going to
which we call ether, and it's the dome doing a rotation. So that's what we're actually measuring. What is it that we're measuring? Well, the land's not moving, the Earth's not moving, according to Michelson Morley interferometer experiments. So what is moving? Something in the air. And I believe the same reason that we have black holes and dark matter, when we look at them, we can see them here on space too. Well, look at superfluid helium, how it behaves in a laboratory. It actually turns dark, not black, dark, which is the voidness of color. And it has these little swirls, these little spirals in it. That's what we're seeing. That's all we're seeing.
I believe it. Yeah, that makes sense. And it answers the question. What I always say to people, so you don't go insane in your heads, it's plausible. And when you say it's plausible, you get comfortable. It's not, no, it's not plausible. It's plausible.
Well, check this out.
Blow it up, yeah.
Check this out, you guys. We know that rain clouds are not full of water. It's not precipitation, because you can go in an airplane through a dark rain cloud and not get wet. And so they're not holding water, yet they release millions of tons of water, right? Like a fountain. Well, guess what? Superfluid helium at 0 degrees Kelvin has the ability to pull from the atmosphere spontaneous fountains of water indefinitely, just by synthesis of turning the atmosphere into water because there's water inside of it. That's the same thing we're experiencing rain clouds.
How come we don't know that? How come you surprised me with that? How come we have physics in school and chemics in school and biology in school, and we don't know what you just told us? Yeah, we all know how come, but I'm amazed, man. I'm amazed.
Oh, that's good stuff. This is great.
This is like one of my favorite things to talk about, actually, because I talk about all truths, but flat Earth is my favorite one because I call myself a flat earther because to me, that's what woke me up. With 9/11, I was too cowardly to stand up to the truth. But with flat Earth, I was like, oh my God, this is a worldwide epidemic. It's, you know what I mean? All governments are involved. No governments went to the moon. That means they're all in on it. So I'm like, you know what? I have a little 4-year-old daughter you guys saw who's vaccine free. And so I'm like, you know what? I'm just going to devote the rest of my life to learning flat Earth truths. Flat Earth
is the most important stepping stone to truth. And whether first or your second or your third or your last, it's the most important stepping stone to truth.
Yeah.
Right?
Amen.
Yeah. Well, Eric and I are both vaccine free.
No way.
Yeah, we didn't. No, we never had it. We didn't have it. Well, we had a doctor, one small doctor in town. We were raised with no shots. No, all of our. I had the mumps. I got it from a neighbor. We had play dates to get sick.
Yeah,
they made us play dates in town to get sick. We got no shots. Chicken pox. Play dates for chicken pox.
Yeah,
all that stuff. I have got no polio scars. I've got nothing. I've never had any problems. Eric's never had any.
About everything. They lie about everything.
Barefoot. Your kid's supposed to be barefoot outside. You're supposed to let them run barefoot in the grass. We ran around barefoot. I know it sounds like redneck stuff, but you're supposed to be outside. You're supposed to, like Vanna's talking about, age your meat. You're supposed to age your meat. There's those things we got to go back to.
Yeah.
But now that I know that I ain't going up there, we're got to make, like you said, paradise is here. We got to start changing shit here now.
Well, did you know the Bible even says that? And everybody who reads the Bible misinterprets that we're going to heaven. It says, if you're a Bible believer, okay, I'm not trying to convert anybody, but the Bible says that Jesus is going to come down and we're going to still be in the same body that we are now, not like some angels with wings, right here on earth, and that we're going to be given a special fruit that will give us life, and paradise will be here on earth. So no matter what, all the other ancient cultures said it's right here in our same form. So we have to get right. It's all about us getting right.
The actual word paradise means like a garden with a wall around it. And
Joey, yesterday, sorry.
It's our firmament, right?
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
We were talking about church yesterday. We talked about a lot of stuff yesterday. But when I was doing research, I found this verse. It was kind of interesting. That was related to flat Earth. It said, describing the temptation of Jesus by Satan. Matthew 4:8 says, once again, the devil took him to a very high mountain and showed him all the kingdom of the world in their glory. Obviously, this would not be possible if the earth wasn't flat.
No.
Right?
Exactly. Also, the Tower of Babel, they were trying to reach it to reach the heavens. Well, reaching outer space and they're spinning around really fast. And the further they build up, the faster they're going. So they've been too dizzy when they got up there. They've been going mock infinity.
Well, it says in the same true Revelation 1:7, behold, he is coming with the clouds. Every eye shall see him.
Yeah.
You can only see something if it's flat, right? I mean, I was doing this researching for the Catholic, and I found that. I was like, wow, that's kind of flat earth, I thought.
Yeah, well, it also says in the Bible that the earth is flat as a stamp, as a clay stamp, with a glass dome around it. People say, are you sure it says a glass dome? Oh, yeah, I'm 100% positive. Because in Revelation, it says a sea of glass, implying a ridiculous amount. And in Job 37:18, it says it's a molten lava looking glass. So it's glass made out of lava. You know what I mean? It's like, yeah, there we go. Water's above, water's below, same as below, same as above, same as below. And you know that Voynich, you're heavy into the flat earth, and everybody keeps on trying to figure out where are we, like on Globebusters, they keep on saying, where are we getting that downward force? It's negligible, but where are we getting it from? We must admit it's more than density and buoyancy. Well, superfluid helium has the rare ability to actually climb up walls, defying what they call gravity, which isn't gravity. So it has a pushing force to it. So we've got some simple answers right here on Earth, guys. Occam's razor, the simplest the answer, the more usually true it is. And I think it's just all simple answers for everything.
Occam's razor.
Brian Snavely was explaining because I was asking him, well, how does it gets dark and day and light? And he was saying like it's like a flashlight. Farther away you walk, darker it gets. I'm like, okay, that makes sense.
Well, here's a really good experiment. Do a mental thought experiment. Imagine a room in your house that's a decent size. Turn off all the lights, grab a video camera, and take the flashlight, point it downwards, and only hold it about 2 feet above the room. Do a circle around the whole room, and you'll see certain areas are lit up and certain areas are pitch dark. So that's exactly what we experience here on Earth as well. And Joey, that's what all our ancient ancestors said.
May I ask a weird question? I mean, if helium can climb up a wall, and the sun is helio, right? So it's helium, or it's said to be.
Yes.
We as humans release helium, like just by being alive, just by walking out or sitting indoors, just by breathing. Do we release helium? Does all our helium climb up to the sun? This is what I'm thinking, because you just said me.
No, we don't release helium. Actually, helium is being released downwards towards us. What makes the helium is so imagine this. Imagine the sun's a car, okay? And as it's going forward, this car is absorbing through what we call spots. Those are actually holes in the sun. Through those holes, it's allowing hydrogen, which is at the highest level. We know this on the periodic table. It's taking in hydrogen and it's converting 4 hydrogens into 1 helium. And so up above us is the superfluid helium. And it stays above us because it stays stable, and it's continuously rotating above our heads. So it's not that we're creating it. The sun, the heliocentric theory, is creating it, and that's what's also causing the ocean above our heads is the superfluid helium. It's actually acting as a liquid solid. It's the ocean above our heads.
Oh man, we're going way too deep, man. We got the surface. We got the surface, man.
I went to school I wanted to be a geologist, so I'm like, I'm doing the math in my head. It works. It works.
Right. I
can see why these guys got together, and they're like, okay, that works. If you hypothetically, all you people out there, if you wanted to make an artificial planet or artificial place, artificial plane, and you want to, you could do all of this. You could recreate this yourself. That's the idea. You could have sea monkeys and recreate a whole. By using this method, you could do it.
Yeah.
That's why it's plausible. That is insane to think that, but it's fun.
It is fun. It is fun. And you know what's crazy too? My name is Rob. David Weiss just interviewed a lady that's named Ruth, 102 years old. And she said, crazy. She remembers 90 years ago it was still being taught. That means the deception is not that old. I think World War I, II, and who knows about 3, and all the stuff in between was to wipe away our history big time.
Yeah.
They even lied about, when you get deeper into it, they lied even about slavery. And people are like, how dare you, Joey? No, if what I'm saying is true, then isn't that good news? They used all this stuff to make everyone feel bad, to think that these people did this to these people. But yet we're all living here in peace and harmony, except for what supposedly all of our ancient ancestors did. Look at Hitler in World War II. I'm not going to talk about it on your show to get you exposed. But we know all that stuff is horse crap. Right? So they lied about everything, and they did it to divide us, to make us, we're all the same race. We're all the same race. And they lied to make it seem like other people are racist against other people. When in reality, look at us when we go on vacation to other countries. Are we not having the time of our lives? It's just what the news says that we're doing. It's just
exactly. That's correct. That's correct. I've been to third world countries and had a fantastic time. I've been to these places you're supposed to be killed at, and I've had a fantastic time. Now, however, I'm not going to go into that whole sex tourism thing. I had to shut that down. But if you get rid of that,
that's in everywhere, man. It's crazy.
Those are the glow people, by the way. These are the people that are feeding on the people like that. So I'm not going to go into all those stories, but other than that, everybody's fantastic. I've been to places where they're walking around with machetes. They have their own guerrilla forces to protect their areas, and they're nice as fuck. I get with them. They want to be your friend, man.
That's human nature. We're the only weakness that we have, our kryptonite as human beings, is that we're gullible. Proof of that is the elderly get the most scams done to them, yet they've had the most scams done to them. So you think they've learned their lesson, but they don't. the more you're tricked, the tendency is that you're easier to be tricked.
Yes.
So we're gullible as human beings. So that's why they said, oh, we went to the moon and the earth is flat. 9/11 was a terrorist attack. And you know what I mean? And we all believed it hook, line, and sinker.
Yeah. I always tell people, just go to the museum. Everybody says, go to the Museum of Flight. I used to work there. Go to the Museum of Flight with an open mind and don't fall in and just look at the things and with an open mind and go, no. That's how I woke up. I worked with the exhibits. I've worked with all the actual objects. And I finally had to say, math isn't adding up. This can't do anything. I've been in a submarine, and if you're going below fucking pressures like that, this little tin can's going to squeeze up. No, man. Then let's work with the astronauts. We had a CEO as an astronaut. And I can see that I know pantomimes, and I can see lying. You're lying. You've lied so long that you become, your teeth are, some of the astronauts' teeth were rotting.
Yeah,
and they brush their teeth. They got good paychecks. They've got the best dentists in town. Why are their teeth rotting? You know why? It's from the stomach acids.
Yeah,
the stomach. And they got ulcers. They all get ulcers because they lie. And then some of them start becoming religious. They start finding God or whatever have you, and then they know they got to keep the lies going. Literally, they close themselves off, and they have to find them. They're alcoholics. They're having one of them even at one time went to go pick up. Was having an affair with another astronaut, and was married. That was married. She was having an affair with another astronaut that was married. Yeah. She showed up to the airport with diapers on, and with wire to kill the wife of another astronaut. And she herself, all three were astronauts. They were going to kill the other one.
Yeah, they're all crazy. They're all crazy. They're all crazy, and you know what? They're all liars. They're all crazy. They're all liars.
That's why they're crazy. I've met these astronauts, and you always see their teeth. All of them have a gritty teeth because of the acid. I'm not making shit up. You could see in their face that their life for so long.
100%. They're
on the outside. They've eaten themselves up from the inside out. Just come out, the astronauts. If you're watching this, come the fuck out. Just say you didn't go up there. Let's end this whole charade. Get everybody fixed, but they're not going to do it. They've got all that money. They're going to have some CIA guys show up their door and go, pop. It's that deep now. It's kind of sucks.
Yeah.
But you're right. And all of the puzzle pieces, you put them together, make sense. Right down from what I at the Museum of Flight, right down to everyone else is out there doing all the math, looking up, going, okay. That's what we say. When you look up, you grow horns. As long as you keep looking down, you don't have any horns. I mean, I'm saying metaphorically like an animal kingdom. There's no devil involved here.
Yeah, you get antennas. You get antennas. You're able to receive and use your receptors.
Yes. This is awesome. Great show, dude.
It's the Flat Earth Truth Movement is the biggest grassroots truth movement the world has ever seen. If you look at Google stats from 2015 to now, it started off 25 million people were searching it, then 75 million, then it jumped all the way up to where President Trump and Flat Earth were neck and neck, And the great thing is, in my opinion, Mandela effect, even though I'm new to it, to me, I think it's actually, I call Flat Earth the answer, but I call Mandela effect the key, because I've seen more people in the Mandela effect community that are more open-minded than anybody else for some reason. And they're just like, they're not even refuting it. They're just saying, let me hear what you have to say. You know what I mean? And then you get to speak and like, yeah, that makes sense, or, or that doesn't. And so the Mandela effect is like part of the Great Awakening.
It is a great awakening. I have my own show, so I'm not going to go into the whole. I'm going into the conspiracy part. I don't want to go into it like about the lost tribes of Israel and people that are waking up. To me, it's panning out. It might be the lost tribes that down the line that woke up, because it's in the Bible anyway. It says that the lost tribes will wake up, and once they wake up,
I believe we are the lost tribes.
Yeah, and I had a dream the other day about a bloody 13 on the wall. I woke up and I saw a 13 in red. And I'm thinking the 13th tribe is waking up, and there's 12 tribes, but I'm thinking nobody could remember what tribe they came from. Tribe of Dan, the Israelite tribe. We're going to call it the 13th tribe, and then everyone's going to wake up at one time in one big ass group and just take this place back.
Well, the Hopi Indians and the Dongons and a lot of other ancient ancestors said that this year, 2020, would be a revelation, a change. And you know what's crazy? The Hopi Indians said that there would be a worldwide web covering the earth And from that, a new Earth would be reborn. Everyone always thought, oh, what were they talking about? Maybe the telephone poles or the chemtrails, or maybe telephone lines or what have you. No, they were actually being frank. The World Wide Web. Yeah. We're using it right now. This is how we're going to win them, because we wouldn't be able to do this if we didn't have the World Wide Web. So we're using their technology against them. We're brave enough. We're brave enough. People call us names and we're like, shut up. You know what I mean? We got a community behind us, and we're doing it we're modern day heroes. We're doing it to wake up the world.
Yeah, I don't give a shit, because I mean, I'm not putting down anybody who didn't go to school, but I went to school. I went to the universities, and so when I see the science, and I see people objecting to them, like, what are you talking about? The science is right in front of your face. Yeah. You can't make me feel bad. It's like someone saying that's not the color purple, but it's the color purple. I'm like, no, it's the color purple. If it's purple, it's purple. If it looks like an elephant, it's an elephant. It's that easy.
And for me, it wouldn't matter actually that the Earth is flat or that Mandela effect is real. Honestly, I could care less, and I would just go about my life if I didn't think there was deeper implications. And it's the deeper implications, just like 9/11 and much, much more, that made me go, oh my God, like, you know what I mean? They're molesting our children in Hollywood. They're trying to force vaccinate everybody. They're turning everybody's families against one another. You know what I mean? This is a real life matter of good versus evil. So that's why I'm involved, because I'm like, I don't know what our odds of winning are, but they are increasing if I do what I can, and everyone else. So I encourage everybody. We need to unite with each other, because this is real.
Because it's the youth. The youth are going to learn all this stuff. As long as we get through to the youth, because the youth are the ones that are going to be taking over. I'd rather us do it, but I think we're going to be the ones that do it. But I hope so. Scenario, we're going to have the youth. At least the youth are going to know. As long as you get your youth, tell your youth, I want you to understand this and take this model in consideration. I want you to give you the data, and I want you to know that I'm an adult and I agree with this. I went to university and I agree with this. This person agrees with this. This person, these millions of people agree with this. Can you look at the data and tell me this and disregard this data, or look at both data and see what you think, because I believe in this. If you get the youth involved, and then the youth are going to be like, we're the next generation. Kick the old fucking fogies out. Get out of here, you piece of shit.
But we may not have time. We may not have time. Look how fast they're ramping everything up. You know what I mean? They're getting FEMA stuff ready and everything. So, you know what I mean? What if it's either 2020 or bust? You know what I mean? What if it's like, this is our chance? Everyone make as much noise as you can, because
that's it. You're doing it. We're doing it. That's exactly.
I know. That's why I'm such big fans of you guys. People are like, Joey, why are you such a big cheerleader? Are you kidding me? This is the most exciting time in life to be alive, and I've got fellow heroes that are out there, being, studs. I'm a huge fan of anybody who's brave enough. It takes balls. It takes balls to come out here and do this and take ridicule and just continue to do it and repeat it and repeat it. It's awesome.
Yeah. Coming from where I came from work-wise, I was chastised, man. I'm looked at as a fucking fool. But there's people in there. But I always tell people, you don't understand, though. There are people. They are part of the system, and they were the. Shh. I said, so all this. Shh. These are the motherfuckers. Shh. And there's a large percentage of them. Now these are closet geocentric motherfuckers.
I know plenty of closet flat earth.
You know what I mean? They know the truth, though. It ain't like that. You better stop. They know the truth, and they're like,
blame them, though. You can't blame them. The
good choice.
Once this becomes more popular, though, they're going to come out. You know what I mean? It's like with anything. Some people, they're not going to be the first wave, but once there's enough where they feel safe, hey, I'll join in, and that's what's going to happen. It's going to be an avalanche effect in 2020, I think.
Yeah, it's their paychecks, man. It's their livelihood.
Yeah,
it's their children. It's their children's college. It's their children's dental. They're going to lose all of it.
Well, here's the thing too, Rob. I don't actually agree with that, to tell you the truth. I think it's their perception that that's what will happen. I have my job. I'm in the union. I'm in the union. I wear a flat earth t-shirt to work. It's all about, do you cause conflict? If they make fun of you, are you going to get in an argument with them? No, just say, look, we all have different opinions. Who's just stuff like that. We personally can't take it too serious, because actually I've noticed in the truth community, we are the ones that start the fights, and I don't think a lot of us realize it, because we're trying to stand up for our cause. You know what I mean? But don't try and win over people you know. Try and win over strangers.
Yeah, that's
They're not going to listen to people they know. They're going to listen to strangers. So by proxy, if you waking up strangers, they'll wake up your friends. You know what I mean? Like, just do it the easy way.
I will say you guys are doing it the right way.
Yeah.
Because when Brian was on, I had my son come on real quick. And I don't try to push nothing on anybody. And my son heard me talking to Brian one day. We're talking about flat Earth. And my son goes, you know, he sees flat Earth everywhere on YouTube. But what he said is not for me pushing it, but he said one thing about flat earthers is wherever they're on, anywhere on YouTube, they're all nice.
Yeah, they're all nice.
He said, I never push them or anything. He said they have a nice community because they're nice, and that's how you're gonna win people over, by not over pushing, being nice, explaining them how you explain it to us. Because a lot of people in my who follows me have never even heard of flat Earth until we start talking about it on the show. But you present it in a way where, hey, Joey makes sense.
You guys
and he's not being an asshole about it. You're not coming in here saying you're a fucking asshole, you're stupid, you're dumb, you're idiot.
Eric, now you're actually explaining what gravity means, right?
But he does it but he's explaining it the right way. He's explaining it means a good way to listen.
Gravity means seriousness. And we're flat earthers. And we're serious about the flat earth, but it's fun.
Well, I'm not saying you're not serious, but like this morning, lifting the lid show, he did it in a soft and easy way where it's easy to take in. Because I tell Bob that sometimes at the end of Friday, things get heavy. Conversations get so heavy that it can go over your head.
Yeah.
But on a Friday, when you watch his show, it's so nice and easy that it's not over your head.
You got to keep it light.
Make it easy. The way he does with music and he does with his videos. So I like the way. What I'm saying is, I like the way you're explaining it, Joey, because you're making it easy to listen. You're not. It's not going over my head.
Hey, check this out. Well, thank you for the compliment. I appreciate that. Check out this. My name is Rob. I think you will probably especially appreciate this because speaking of gravity, like Voynich is talking about, besides saying what's replacing it, you know what I mean, the superfluid helium being in a contained atmosphere. What about debunking gravity itself? You know, like there's all kinds of ways that people use, but here's one unorthodox way that people use. Magnetism is part of Earth's pull. It's part of gravity. Let's debunk what they say the Earth's core is. Even though they've never dug a hole any deeper than 9 miles deep, they say at 33,000 miles radius, there's a molten iron core 10,000 degrees, and it's magnetic. Well, let's just real quickly apply it to the laws of physics. There is a law of physics called the Curie-Weiss law of magnetism. It says that all metals, no exception, all metals at or above 1,000 degrees Fahrenheit lose their magnetic susceptibility, rendering them unmagnetic. In layman's terms, you take a magnet, the most powerful one in the world, you heat it above 1,000 degrees, it won't stick to your refrigerator. They're saying the Earth's core is magnetic in 10 times above the Curie-Weiss law. You know what I mean? And then you look into everything else about the mass of the pool of these different objects and everything, and you debunk them with the laws of physics. So, you know what I mean? The truth community, we're into science. We're not against science. There's just such a thing as Gatorade science. You know what I mean? There's pseudoscience.
Yeah, I'm trying to figure out gravity right now. I'm feeling it in the. I'm not gonna lie to everybody, and I've been all over the fucking place, and I'm being anthropology. I'm being honest when I say I was in the States, and I'm at Eric's house, at your house, and I'm feeling a little bit lighter on the ground where I'm from. And I come to, I'm being honest, and I come to England, and boy, I'm a little bit fucking heavier here. Then I went up to Amsterdam, and these are all in a short period of time. Oh my God, I was in Amsterdam. I felt like my fucking knees were really sore, like I'm heavier in Amsterdam. And I've been over certain, and I come back to England, what's not so heavy as it was in Amsterdam, go back over to Washington, a lot lighter. Now, I don't mean this could be just me having jet lag or some other, there's 1,000 different things, but it seems kind of weird to me. There's certain areas where it feels a little bit more gravity than other areas. Now, I'm not saying it's the truth. I'm just giving you guys this hypothetical certain areas. It doesn't feel right to me. Whatever this is, it don't feel right. So it feels a little bit weird in certain
wherever you're standing on Earth too, there's different ley lines. There's upward, you know, Earth has this electrostatic energy that's invisible to our eye spectrum, continuously trickling upwards from the ground. So depending where you're at, you know all about grounding. You know, depending where you're at, you're just high in altitude, and you know, so whatever that force is, it's not due to gravity, because gravity is the explanation of this force that's being pushed on a ball that's pushing it down, right? When in reality, it's probably something in this enclosed system called superfluid helium. But the only reason why they even had to come up with gravity is because people were asking, how does water stay on a ball? You know what I mean? So it's just, you know, and it explains everything. So gravity is just a word that they want us to even debate when it's just a theory. It was theorized by a 23-year-old theoretical philosopher. That's all he's supposed to do. They said, how come water's not falling off the earth? He didn't say, here's why. He's a theoretical philosopher. He said, well, maybe, you know what I mean? Maybe the apple's falling to this pool from the Earth's magnetic core. Well, what if everything up and down just makes more sense? We're on a level surface. That's why. And we have weight to us. So when we jump, you know, we're forced to come back down. Density and buoyancy, you know, this what it is, Occam's razor.
Yeah, yeah. I even had a theory. I was even thinking, oh, we're in a bubble and it's a fixed surface, and maybe we have trillions of miles of magma going up there, and we're actually going up at a certain speed, slowly going up, where it's causing everything to come down, and it's just actually not stable in one spot, but actually moving. We're on a moving surface. It can be flat and moving to a direction. It doesn't matter if it's going any direction, as long as it's moving in a direction. It gives us gravity.
Yeah.
All we do is move. I mean, not around. It ain't working. That don't work on science. But if we're moving, if we're on a fixed surface and going a direction, there's gravity right there. No matter what direction you go, if you go in that direction, you can just, even at the slightest speed. I mean, this is like a lava lamp. Like, as long as it's moving like a lava lamp into a speed, you've got gravity.
Yeah.
That's Occam's razor version. That's the basic version. That's the version saying flat surface, a plate that's going up. That's it. Or moving into a direction, wherever that direction is.
And there's a theory that goes that way as yours. Actually, to tell you the truth, there's people who are smart like you, and they've actually thought of that same type of thing, and they have mathematics on it. And that's the cool thing, is that we have theories that actually make sense, and we're able to discuss them, but nobody knows all-knowing answers. You know what I mean? We just know, just like 9/11, nobody's all-knowing. It's just that the governments are lying to us.
Yeah.
We're telling on them, you know what I mean? And we got some smart people in the communities that have a lot of information. But I like that theory too. I just believe that, you know, it makes too much sense, our theory, and their theory is not only lies, but the problem is they intentionally lie. So that's the big problem. It's not that they're wrong or that they're fibbing to gain popularity. No, they're doing it for one purpose. Everything that it says defies the Bible. You know, the earth was created in 7 days. No, 7 billion years. Oh, evolution, creation, no, Big Bang. Sun is there's only one sun in the Bible. Well, according to NASA, there's an infinite amount of suns. It goes on and on and on. You know what's crazy too? The Earth's tilt is 23.4 degrees at its axis, and it has to be that way for us to get the precessions of the equinox that we see. Well, guess what? It's taken off of a 90-degree angle. 23.4 minus 90 degrees is the sign that can be calculated in the Bible that will let you know who the deceiver is. Boom! You know what I mean?
Everything's measurable. That's why I like flat Earth. I was like, okay, so I was like, sock it to me. Now I have my theories, I have my gut stuff, but what do you guys have? All of a sudden, you guys come up with fucking data. Now, if you look at the holy shit, data, numbers measurable. Here's this measurable. Oh fuck! My God, where do you guys been in my entire life? It's just nothing but measurable. You know, for the people that need to be, they need that, because it's a shocking, depressing thing, knowing that whatever. But once you get over that, it's awesome. But at least you have data.
Yeah,
measure it.
Well, that's what proved to everybody that the Twin Towers, you know, during 9/11, that's what proved to everybody who was an honest, intellectually honest person that was a controlled demolition. People tried to argue this and that and the other thing, but when it came down to the physics of the speed that building came down, it defied the laws of physics unless it was a controlled demolition. So other theories, who cares? There are probably some that are closer than others, but it was a controlled demolition. The government lied, and it caused us to go to war and have more of us kill each other. That's what. Yeah,
well, I was in the Gulf thing. I'm a disabled veteran, and again, I'm not going to go into this show and my own show, but I'm going to go into what I talked about. Artifacts. A lot of artifacts were deliberately stolen The whole thing was about stealing artifacts, stealing an identity, hiding an identity. So a lot of things from Babylon, all the other artifacts were stolen from Iran, Iraq. All these artifacts are being stolen. Certain artifacts that I think prove a lot of people are missing tribes of, well, Israelites. But anyway, I'm not going to go into that.
Have you done a show on that? Have you ever done a show on that?
What's that?
Have you ever done a show on the missing tribes of Israelites?
I just started that this week with Eric.
I'd love to join you.
Our show yesterday, we talked about the Lost Tribe.
Oh, awesome. I'll watch it.
I'm going more and more. I've got a book. I've got 4 or 5 books. I'm going through the books, not the internet. I'm having a look at all the stuff, and a lot of things are misinformation. So I'm have to go through it. I have to go find the conspiracy theorists that people fucking spit on and see what their take is, like flat Earth. Now everybody's relevant. They called crazy. This book is pseudo archaeology. It's not pseudo anymore. It's not fake.
Of course not.
So this proves to me, especially with the snake mounds, the Mississippian culture snake mounds, where these artifacts were found. Israelite artifacts were found in the Americas, also found in South America, also found in as far as Daneland and northern Europe. Israelite artifacts. So it looks like the lost tribes are all over the back of this turtle, man. Yeah, all over, not just down into the Middle East, all the way up as far as Russia. I mean, they're all over the place. It's simulated with their own culture, new religions, new ideas. And according to the Bible, they were dispersed because they were sinning. And now at the days that we call now, they're forgiven by God, which I mean, maybe everyone's waking up going, holy shit, why am I awake now? Maybe we are the lost tribes
that's a good question.
And saying, hey, guys, welcome to the promised land. And the promised land isn't just there. It is the paradise. It's paradise. We're given paradise. So not just one spot. So anyway, I'm going to go into that detail. I need data before I start.
In the end times, time will be speeded up. The Mandela is some type of quickening. We know that. You know, there's shows where people take a stopwatch, and you know how you used to be able to go 1 Mississippi, 2 Mississippi, and time it. Well, they do it now the same way that we always used to, and remember knowing how to do it. Now it's a few seconds more, so time is quickening. We have a quickening occurring, and also in the Bible it says that there are people who will preach in the end times all these truths, and knowledge will become abundant. Well, what are we doing? We're all basically preachers. You know what I mean? Not like we're some high and mighty people, but we're preaching. You know, we're preaching truth.
Yeah, and the good thing is God
through Revelation.
Yeah, it's in Revelations, and people are getting messages. I'm getting dreams. People are getting dreams. I've other people said they got in the same kind of dreams. I'm like, thank God I don't feel crazy because I debunk, and I'm getting these fucking prophetic dreams. People they're waking up just knowing things. If there's an itch they can't scratch, and all of a sudden they go and find out about a subject, and that itch is scratched. Hey, this feels good. When I discovered the geocentric version of Earth, it felt good.
Well, you know what it does? You know what it does, Gypsy Road and everybody too. What I think it does too is that it allows us. I think we all are geniuses. Every human being on Earth is a genius. Here's my theory: it's just that we have these invisible governors on us that don't allow us to think for ourselves. Once we're able to not only know that the Earth is flat and 9/11 was a controlled demolition, it's not just that that's it. But once we realize, oh, I figured this out on my own, and there's a way to actually figure things out on your own, it helps you to unlock your true genius. You know what I mean? They keep us stupid because we're just like, huh? Oh, I don't remember that. Okay, well, light years away. They say stars are light years away. And the only reason why you can still see their light is because they died off however long ago. Bullshit. But yet they got us not to think for ourselves because it doesn't make sense. We have to trust them. Now we know that light is there. That star is there. And it's close.
I keep telling people, it's easy. I tell people you don't need to be a mathematician. Now I joke about where's that? I had it down. There's a meteor or whatever, not a meteor, but an asteroid headed to tomorrow. It's supposed to be here. And if you look at the name of the asteroid, it adds to 13. It adds up all the asteroids. They keep adding up to 13. Just do the math on it. It comes up to a basic 13. Yeah. Now, are they doing that on purpose?
Of course.
Is every fucking asteroid going to add up to a 13 on purpose? Why? What is it? Is it them doing it, or is it even real? Like here, asteroid P239. It's going to come Saturday 15th, February, Saturday 15th. It's 5.8 million kilometers from Earth, whatever, kilometers from kilometers. 5.8 at 13. So every time they have a math figure on any asteroid, it comes up to 13. 13.
Well, look, what is the axial tilt of the moon? Every actual planet, according to the heliocentric theory, has a different axial tilt. The moon's axial tilt is 6.66. The sun's axial tilt is 13.3. I mean, that's them all over the place, brother. That's just them. People know them by calculating. That means using a calculator or using your mind. And there's a number. They use numbers. They use numerology, and that's their code. You know.
Yeah. So I tell people, if you see that, just know it's bullshit, because they're telling each other it's bullshit. So if they're doing it's bullshit. If you watch that movie we were talking about, that whatever Minds, that Criminal Minds, if you look at the newspaper, it's the same date that Nelson Mandela was released. It's the same date as his kid died in a car accident. It's telling you the answer. And when you could do the certain dates, and there's 13s in there. There's six heads on the table. There's a 7 before that. There's 13. The whole when there was when the alarms went off. The alarms went off in Hawaii. There was like a false alarm that went off. It was
I was here. I live here in Hawaii. I went through
the guy that accidentally set it off. The guy that he was sitting at the table like this, and he's talking to the reporter. And I'm looking down at his hand. I said, "Well, look at his hand. There's the little there's a little compass, and there's a little bit of there's the Freemason. There's a Freemason ring, and he got it like this. He's got it like this. So people that see that won't be scared. Oh, never mind. Look, it's okay, honey. We're not gonna get blown up by fucking North Korea. He's got it right there, like right there in the table as he's talking. And then when Trump sits down, he like this. He sits like this. Every time you see him sit, he's like this. So when they're with certain people, they're either doing this, which is the secret hand of what's going on. They're doing this, and that's for other people with other guilds to see, so you'll feel comfortable. Oh my God, it's just false, man. False alarm. Don't worry, it's just fake.
Scare tactics.
These scare tactics, yeah.
Look at the coronavirus. Look at the coronavirus.
Oh yeah.
The coronavirus, for example, in China, they were having the biggest protests they've ever had against the government, the police brutality. On video, we saw police killing citizens, and then the coronavirus comes out. December 2019, the streets are flooded with Chinese protesters. 2020, January comes out, the coronavirus is there, the streets are empty. And all the people that they're picking up that are supposedly infected, how do we know they're not the ones that were actually out there protesting? We don't. They probably are. There's a thing called the Great Wall of China, or the Firewall of China. Yeah. It doesn't allow any information in or out of China. Yeah. Right now, China is the world's power. And I believe that we're in Revelation, like I said. And what's going on over there, we're being hidden from it. I think that they're socializing them with their credit scores and everything. And we're next. Yeah. That's what we got to be even more vocal.
Well, 1,000 people who died. I wonder how strong they were in the protests. Like, are they selecting the ones to die? I'm just curious. I like to see those names and see where they're at.
Why not? Why not? Because the coronavirus is a hoax anyways. It was on Lysol cans way before
the high ones.
Yeah, I mean,
the coronavirus, we did nothing but 13s. The thing is riddled with it. The coronavirus, the numbers, everything's all 13 going down. And you look at it, it's got the lambdas, the triangles. It looks like red roses. And you look, this is never. I'm studying. This ain't a fucking virus, man. You got the red roses. You got the lambdas. No. This is all symbolic shit for other people that are in the guild not to be afraid of. It's telling them not to be afraid.
Everything. You know what, guys? We're gonna wind down a little bit. I have to feed some kids upstairs because today there's no school. They got a bunch of kids I gotta feed. But before we go, I'm gonna ask you a couple questions, real quick. I know you have a channel. I see you on a lot of other channels. Do you on your own channel? Do you have your own show, or do you more just go to other people's channels, go on their shows? Do you have your own show?
Well, I do have my own show on YouTube, but it's kind of like I don't go there too often. If you guys aren't on Facebook, I'm basically Facebook famous. My videos get hundreds of thousands of views. I do 5 or 6 videos a day. Okay. I go into different groups and I go live and I challenge people to debate me. So I kind of do the Facebook thing. But I jump into YouTube too as a guest. So I've been on Simon Dan's show, Fight the Flat Earth.
How do I find you on Facebook?
What's that?
How do I find you on Facebook?
My name, Joey Rocha, Joeyrocha.
Type that in. Okay.
Yeah, just type that in. And you know what? Even better, I'm starting to make the switch to YouTube. So if you guys want to friend me on YouTube, Joey Rocha, because Facebook just banned me for a long time.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay.
Cool. So I'm going to start being on YouTube, but I was Facebook. I was a monster on Facebook. I was just like, obsessed and proud of it. You know what I mean? And so now I'm going to be moving to YouTube.
Okay, that's awesome. I'm glad to get that out there.
I only have 700 subs. I need to get to 1,000 so I can live stream. That way people can see
and not just 1,000. You gotta have two things. You gotta have 1,000 subs. And you also have to have 4,000 of watch hours. So you gotta have both.
I'll get that.
Oh yeah. Oh no, you will. You're good. And the second part, before we leave, would you be willing sometime in the future, next week or the week after, come back on the show, kind of do Awakening with you, kind of, give you the whole platform?
Yeah, I'll be on your show anytime. You don't have to give me the whole platform. I can just come on as a guest, talk a little bit, or you can have me on the whole show, whatever. But yeah, I will come on to support you. I'm a big fan of yours, and I'll be watching all your shows anyways. If I catch you guys live, I'll be tuning in, and I share it on Facebook like crazy too. That's what I do. When the people that I love to watch on YouTube are live, I go to Facebook and I say, hey, look, they're live on YouTube, and I do a live, and I say, hey, watch this person's show. So that's how I kind of do my cheerleading and my promoting.
Okay. Because I want to gather a bunch of flat Earth kind of questions and kind of stuff, where I know. So how about this? Are you free next week on a Thursday or Friday so I can know to get questions for you to
sure.
get? Okay, want to do Thursday next week? Would that work for you?
Sounds good, brother.
Yeah, because that gives me an opportunity to actually do some research and ask somebody.
I'm fucking with Eric's good. Like Eric's organized. I'm always like, "Are you in the cyber? Get the fuck on."
Just like you, Rob. I'm the same way, but I can do either or. I like to play.
This is the first time I actually kind of doing this because I want to get stuff to ask you. Not saying professionally, but a little more professionally because you're interesting. The way you explain it is probably one of the best guests I ever had on how to explain things.
Yeah, because you covered meteorites, man, and that's a fucking huge one. Even I was stumped. So,
brother, I got the tides of Earth and all that stuff. And the reason why is because actually I owe a lot of it to psychedelics because I never did psychedelics before, but I got heavy into them while I was doing my research. And you guys know how it opens your mind, right? So I just thought of everything and I said, you know what? I'm going to reverse engineer what our ancient ancestors said and see if science can prove it. And guess what? They were right about everything. But I just had science to back it up. So
I know.
Yeah, so I'll go to your channel and I'll email you my my email address so I can send you an invite so you can go on. We can just go on all together. So Bob, you have a show coming up this weekend at all?
Tomorrow, I'll do my show tomorrow. Now, remember, mine is. I always put a disclaimer. Remember, mine is for people getting off narcotics. Mine is insane. Mine is satire only with some information. I do.
Yeah, his is you have your own private. He has his own private guests, and he does his own thing. So when people ask me who's he talking to, I don't even know who he's talking to.
I do codes for people playing games. It's kind of a living code game. Again, I get people off narcotics who just want to come on and they talk about what they get off of, what they're working on getting off of. You flat earth people, I get people off drugs. Eric's just what he does. Everyone's got a job to do. So
yeah, I want to go on your show about that, Rob, because I do the same thing here in Hawaii with oxycodone and with alcohol. I have a 3-week program. With the oxycodone, it's kratom and other stuff to actually help them through the process, and with alcohol through the process too. So I'm huge on that because that's a huge problem. It's because you can't get off of them. You can't get off of them on your own. It's not about willpower. It's not. You actually have to have a strategy and a plan. You have. Yeah. I'd love to go on.
All right.
Cool.
We're gonna end it now. I appreciate you jumping on. That was fantastic. Had a great time. And everybody, I hope you enjoyed today's show. I think it was one of the best ones we ever had, unexpectedly. And all right, I'll see you guys all later.
Shout out to Voynich. Love you guys.
Oh, see you guys.
Just one touch and I'm lost inside your love. Just one touch means more than words can say. Just one touch.